Just have another commissioner that's almost here. Actually, two of them, board members, so we don't have a quorum yet. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. Today is Thursday, September 18th, 2025. The time is now 5:35 p.m., and this is a special joint meeting of the Boynton Beach Community Redevelopment Agency Board and the City of Boynton Beach Commission is now called to order. Let's proceed to the invocation led by Board Member Hay, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Board Member Kelly. Let's all stand for the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Father, we thank you once again for another day. Thank you for the opportunity to come together as a board to discuss the issues that are before us and to make the right decision. Father, we ask that you be in the midst of all that we do and the decision that we make, that it will be for the betterment of the city of Boynton Beach and the citizens as a whole. Bless this board and those who have come out to give their input to the issues that are before us. And Lord, we'll be so careful to give you all the honor and all the praise that you deserve. For it's in your name that we do pray and ask it all. Let every heart say amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody. Let me turn to our city clerk, Maylee. If you could please begin the roll call.
Chair Shelton,
Present.
Vice Chair Hay,
Present.
Board Member Cruz,
Present.
Board Member Turkin,
Present.
Board Member Kelly.
Here.
Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you. We are now moving on to additions, deletions, corrections to the agenda. Let's begin on my right with Board Member Cruz.
Nothing for me, Mayor. Thank you.
Board Member Hay.
I have nothing.
Board Member Kelly.
No, I'm good, thank you.
Board Member Turkin.
Oh, good to go. Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve in a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Let's now turn to legal counsel. Are there any updates?
Nothing from legal, thank you.
Great. Information items to disclose. Can we start to my left with Board Member Turkin?
Nothing.
Board Member Kelly?
No, I don't have anything, thank you.
Board Member Hay?
Nothing.
And Board Member Cruz?
Nothing for me, thank you.
Great. Let's move on to the next portion of the agenda, which is public comment. The public comment section of the meeting is for the public comment on all items on the agenda or items that are not on the agenda. Each speaker will be given a total of 3 minutes to comment on all items on the agenda. However, the board retains the right to increase or decrease 3-minute limit prior to the start of public comment. Each public speaker shall be given the same number of minutes unless it becomes necessary to terminate a speaker's comments in order to maintain orderly conduct and proper decorum in a public meeting. Persons making public comment may not assign or donate their public comment time to another individual to allow the other individual time to comment. However, any persons requiring assistance will be accommodated as required by the American Disabilities Act. Prior to addressing the board, speakers present at the meeting will go to the podium to make their comments, and speakers participating virtually will unmute their device at the time requested. Speakers may be asked to state their name and address for the record. Any person may provide written comments to the board prior to the board meeting. Are there any public comments? If so, please come down.
Cindy Falco di Corrado. I wasn't aware that there was going to be road work done at 1 o'clock in the morning, but my house continues to shake with the work that they're doing on Boynton Beach Boulevard. I had to call to find out what is going on. Why is my house shaking? So again, I think that you should make the public aware if there's going to be work being done in the area so that you don't think you're losing your house at 1 o'clock in the morning. Also, as I walk down our wonderful little East Boynton Beach Avenue, I noticed the building that they're building with the apartments. It's a monstrosity. I pray that the colors and something helps hide some of it. Looks like the building fell down, even though I know it's their parking garage that looks like it's on our side in the downtown area, showing that really, I hope they put trees there or something, because it's really an eyesore. And I don't know where they're going to put trees, because it doesn't look like there's any land there. It's like they've filled every little spot with part of the building. I don't know if we're going to be talking about the mural and about if that's at another time. I don't mind to come back up and speak on that. Do I speak on that now or later?
Later
Okay.
at the city commission.
And I didn't look at because the whole back is filled with police officers, so I kind of didn't know where to pick up a thing to read to see what we're talking about tonight, because I would like to address other issues, but I don't know. So if somebody could bring me one, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Is anyone else here for public comment for the CRA meeting?
My name's Joanne Fraser. I just have a quick question. Do you have any plans for Northeast 10th Avenue down where the old Dutch mill used to be?
We don't address anyone that comes up, but we can, if you want to give me your information, we can have some staff get back to you on this.
Please. Thank you.
Can you give your information to the clerk, please? Right here, Maylee. And then we'll have somebody get back to you. Anyone else for public comment?
Hi, Elizabeth Rowe. I just wasn't sure if we'd give any comment about what's going on with the boat club ramp park, or if that's later on to give comment.
Now would be your time.
Okay. We're not sure if anything was going through, but the people that live on our street, we just had some questions, and one of them was, we were just wondering if there was going to be a different entrance for coming in for whatever's going to be down there.
Can you state your name first?
Oh, sorry, Elizabeth Rowe, 637 Oak Street, Boynton. So one of the first was, is there going to be a separate entrance for coming in for a bar and for boats? And the only reason why I ask about that is because if you try to pull in with a trailer and a boat and a car at the same time, it's very difficult to go in. Also, I was wondering on Oak Street if there's going to be any type of drainage work that would be done if anything's going on at the park at the end of the street. Also, where they might set up for this project, if it would be going down Oak Street or if it would be held over at the park. We also have signed for FP&L and cable lines to be dropped on Oak Street about a year ago. We also have a post that's been put up there, and everything's been kind of put to the side, so we were just wondering, going forward, if that's going to be done or not. If lighting will be updated, if new roads will be installed. Let me see. Also, I was asking about parking. I just noticed that recently, a lot of people used to park when we had a pier there for parking. And there are people that are paying to park their vehicle there, but the vehicles are supposed to be for trailers only. So even though they've paid to park, since they don't have a trailer because they're fishing there, they're getting tickets. So I just was wondering if that could be overlooked, or why they would be getting a ticket just because if there's no other parking. There's only 10 spaces. One's for handicap and the other one's for Coast Guard. Otherwise, there's really no single parking at the park if you wanted to go fish at the pier. I think that's about it for right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment before we check online? There is no one online, so we're going to close public comment. First item for discussion and consideration is the discussion and consideration of the CRA waterfront plan. Mr. Tack, will you open up this item?
Good evening, Board. Tim Tack,
Your mic
Acting
on.
Executive Director.
Your mic on.
I think so.
Okay.
Maybe I just need to be a little bit closer
Yeah.
to it. All right, so at the September 9th CRA Board meeting, the CRA Board requested a joint meeting with the City Commission and the CRA Board to discuss a CRA waterfront plan. So that item is before your discussion and consideration tonight.
I can bring that up since I had requested this item. Just for clarification for members of the public, today we have a joint meeting between the city and the CRA. Typically, our commission meetings are at 6 p.m. So once we're done meeting now, we will break and we will come back to execute our normal city commission meeting in case anyone's a little bit thrown off. In regards to the CRA waterfront plan, what I'm looking for is just dialogue and input to incorporate this into our CRA master plan as we're looking to revise that and looking to really highlight optimizing and focusing on the waterfront in respect to economic development. So I just want this to be a key component of what we're looking at as we want to match our strategic plan with our city's economic development team and our CRA plan. And so I know this is going to take a lot of feedback from the community, from staff, and both the CRA. So I'm looking for consensus on just making sure that we highlight this item, and then maybe discussion later down the road of holding a community workshop and what that looks like.
Yes.
Quick question, Tim, as far as, I know we're in the early stages of the CRA, redoing the CRA, the master plan. What, can you just briefly, what typically happens as far as public workshops and that sort of thing when we're, there's usually a lot of steps involved that incorporate the public, so I just want to.
There is quite a bit of input. I mean, there's even potentially to a SHREP, but it's really up to the board what level you would want to get it out into the public and get that discussion. We do have an RFP in the hopper that's been waiting to go. So if indeed the board's direction, we would be able to issue that and solicit proposals, and we would be able to work with a consultant if you decided to move in that direction. But as far as the public input, I mean, it could be as much or as little as you like. It's
And then-
completely up to the
right.
board.
And then as part of that RFP, do we highlight some of the key components like a waterfront plan or a commercial industrial plan or some of the things that are on the discussion tonight? Are those part of like our wish list? Is there? a
Right now,
wish
it
list?
isn't, but it can be.
Okay. I'm in support of that. I think that we've made efforts to make our marina a key component of the city, and I think that that should definitely be part of our, our CRA plan moving forward. So I'm in support of that.
Any other comments?
Yes. I don't have any problem with discussing the CRA waterfront plan, but it's not a plan with me hearing it for the first time. I would like to ask questions to staff, and I'm just wondering why this is here before me now, and we're talking about CRA waterfront plan. And I just feel that it has not been discussed with me. I don't know. I haven't been out of town during the CRA time, so I'm just wondering where's all this coming from, and why haven't I been informed of this plan? When you plan something, that means there's been some input along the way, and maybe I didn't get the memo or the email, but I'm just wondering where's all this coming from? I don't know anything about it.
Board Member Turkin?
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, so in May, I'm not sure if we recall or not, but I think the last joint meeting, this body gave unanimous consensus that we were going to focus on economic development and optimizing waterfront tourism and taking a look at our most precious asset in Boynton Beach. After its people, its waterfront. And so we've discussed this in May, and this is a formal follow-up that, again, we got consensus on at the last CRA meeting. And so what this is to make sure that this is a topic of conversation as we redo our plan. There's nothing in specific as of right now, but this is to make sure that this isn't just an idea that isn't followed up with action, dialogue, and discussion.
But this is not the time for that because we haven't had that discussion. That's all I'm saying. I'm all for it when the time is right to discuss it, and we'll do it that way. But is this a reminder to the staff to make sure that's included? If that's what you're saying, fine.
Yes, that's what it is, sir.
Okay, with that, we'll let it go at that. But I'm not going to be discussing that tonight.
No, and I think we do need the community input, so it's
Correct.
good that we have the consensus for that and we accomplished that at this meeting.
Move right along.
Okay. No other discussion items? We can continue to move on?
Yep.
Okay, next item for discussion and consideration is the discussion and consideration of commercial industrial development and land acquisition planning. Mr. Tack?
Again, at the September 9th meeting, the CRA board meeting, there was a request to have additional joint meeting tonight to discuss commercial and industrial development and land acquisition planning in general. That is the item before your discussion.
Any other comments? Anybody have anything on this item?
I think this is something that Board Member Cruz had put forward, so I'd like to hear from her first.
All right, yep, so as per the last CRA meeting, we received multiple offers from multiple different landowners that were interested in having the CRA purchase their property. This could be a very lengthy discussion, but I think it's important for us to work together as a team and figure out what it is that we're looking to do with the, I think, $13 million remaining that we have for land acquisitions with the CRA, in addition to the $2 million that is there for something else. that I
We have land acquisition for a parking structure as well.
Parking structure, okay. So just wanted to have a quick discussion as to what do we see as our plan going forward, and kind of going from what goal we're going to have to then decide, what land we're going to procure.
Board Member Turkin, did you have something before I chime in on this?
Listen, I think this kind of ties into what we discussed, just before this, right? Land acquisition is going to tie in with what we want to do with both our strategic plan and our CRA plan. With the $13 million, we're under contract right now. Have we closed yet on the inn?
We are looking at towards the end of the month here.
All right, so we have a contract that's almost closed. We're under contract with the Oak Street project. No, we're not. We're still in discussions. Okay, so we don't have a contract yet. I am in support of that project, and I think that's already had consensus moving forward. I think everything else is, I think what would be beneficial would, and I hate to say this again, but have a workshop maybe looking at, that's focused on this, looking at the parcels that we have potential acquisition opportunity for, the parcels we own already, see what's contiguous, see what the zoning is, and I think what that entails is, again, both CRA and city staff being here, presenting a PowerPoint that maybe has a map of these potential parcels, and then that way we're not making hasty decisions, and we can make, educated staff recommended decisions, to move forward. I don't know if that's something I'm ready to do tonight or staff's ready to do tonight, but maybe the idea, if it's okay with you, Board Member Cruz and the rest of this body, is to maybe have a workshop where we can do that. Because a lot of times we see the city and the CRA overlap. I mean, we've seen a lot more ILAs in the last year, which I think is great, that this body's moving forward to more collaboration with both entities. And so maybe this is a more focused conversation that we need to have.
I agree that we do need a workshop because the properties are pretty spaced out, and if I had the information on all of them, this was a week ago, I'd have more questions and be able to ask it at the workshop. So I'm definitely in support of that. Board Member
Do you have an
Keller,
idea of when you would like to schedule something like that? In upcoming month, in January, or?
Maybe towards the end of the year, like November-ish.
I'm okay with
Just-
that.
Second meeting in
I'm
November.
flexible.
So the board's
So we can
aware.
give staff time to look into, because it's a lot of research.
Just so the board's aware, city staff and CRA staff have been meeting monthly to coordinate through budget, and will continue to do so. We have discussed potential January joint meeting, as well as potentially May. If you want to see something move up further or faster than that, we can do that too. But we were thinking maybe twice a year. That would be a good, moving forward. We could do that if you like.
Chair, if I may. Yeah, I would like to have the workshop at least sooner, because I think if we have a workshop, we can kind of really dial in on what we want to see in reference to this topic. And then as far as the joint meetings go, I would probably like to see that more quarterly, I think, because if we're then waiting, 6 months to approve something, I don't know if that's the best use of our time. And if we're just allowing things to kind of fall through the cracks. But for me, I think a workshop prior to January would be a little bit more beneficial, especially knowing that we have a contract ongoing, potential acquisitions at this time.
Yeah, I would like to see it in November, simply because we do start losing people for the holidays and community input, and it would be nice to get some of this beforehand.
So do we want to do the second commission meeting in November?
No,
Do it early,
a
or the
workshop.
CRA? Just
We're doing a
separate
workshop,
Workshop,
separate workshop. We can't do this. I mean, this is too important for us to have conversations about what we're gonna do with properties, and I imagine that, I would hope the CRA staff and city staff will work together, maybe a list of properties and discussion points for us to talk about of what we already have, what's been talked about. I made this very clear when we were discussing those 13 parcels, that before I even considered it, that I really knew what the resident buy-in was going to be for those properties, because the last thing I would want to do is spend a lot of money on properties with an idea of what we have in mind. And then the residents, I know, Board Member Turkin and also Chair, this is your neighborhood, but, I would like to know that we have, resident support moving forward with whatever plans happen on that before we go and pull the trigger and spend that kind of money. And so that was a point that I made, a couple meetings ago, that, resident buy-in for these projects, when it's in their backyard is super important to me. So I like the idea of having a workshop where we can really take our time and listen to the public. and have an open conversation as opposed to trying to squeeze it in on a half hour before a meeting. So, and the joint meetings, I think we can be flexible with the joint meetings. Let's get the first one scheduled in January and then go from there. If we have stuff we need to talk about, we can always pop one on sooner, but I don't want to have a meeting just to have a meeting. Because there's a lot of staff here to run these meetings, so, these joint meetings, so. And thank you guys for pulling this together and doing this tonight, so.
I'd like to have that meeting before the middle of November, because now you're getting into the holidays and people are traveling, so.
There's 2 Saturdays in November. I actually, workshops work better on a Saturday because you get more
Yeah.
input from the public. I know
that's
it's a
fine.
drag on staff, but honestly, like you mentioned, trying to do that at a public meeting here is a little harder. It's not as, do it somewhere like that community room at PD or something like that. November 8th and 15th would be probably the 2 dates that we'll look at. We'll do that. I'll coordinate with Tim, and we'll look at those 2 dates and propose some times and get that coordinated with you.
Okay.
The 8th is good.
8th is good for me.
Yeah, the 8th is good
Good.
for me.
Good for me.
Earlier the better.
Okay.
That's,
It's fine.
Let me put it in.
second Saturday.
Okay. Okay, any other comments before we move on? Next item for discussion and consideration is the discussion and consideration of the city procurement policy. Mr. Tack?
Catherine Rosmell, CRA Legal, will be presenting this item.
Hi, good evening, Catherine Rossmell, Lewis Longman, and Walker. This item is before you just to work out some of the procedural niceties related to your search to fill the executive director role of the CRA. As you all are aware, the CRA operates under the city's procurement policy and has let forth several methods to try to secure an executive director, including advertising, using a headhunter, issuing a request for proposals. And so under the city's procurement policy, there is a waiver provision that exists. So I've asked, and the city has kindly provided their purchasing director to come here tonight to simply confirm that we could enact a waiver policy. And upon his confirmation that that's an accurate read of the city procurement policy, I will ask you all if you'd like to secure a waiver so that we can consider all the options. So if you wouldn't mind. So just for clarity in the record, can you state your name?
Yeah, good evening. Andrew Rozwadowski. I'm the Procurement Division Director for City of Boynton Beach.
Perfect, thank you. And can you just confirm that under the city's procurement process, the governing body has the authority to waive procurement procedures upon a finding that it's in the best interest of the body they represent, and if it's based on appropriate factual findings?
Absolutely, yes. Yes.
All right, perfect, thank you very much. Thank you for coming for that. Okay, so if this board would like, right now you have, there are several parallel tracks that are before you. You have issued an RFP, and you have secured a headhunter or a recruitment specialist to secure an individual person that might serve as your executive director. Currently, it's difficult for you to compare those two things because they've been running in parallel process. If you so elect tonight, you may waive the ordinary procurement processes to allow you to compare those somewhat apples to apples. This finding does require you to make factual findings, including a consideration of time constraints, which in this case, the information shows that we have been without an executive director since October 10th of 2023. This is an unusual position, and it is a service that is particular to a person or a company that it could provide. In other words, it's not fungible. We couldn't just go get pens from another supplier, or we could go get pens from another supplier with about equal results. That may not be true of an executive director position. And the RFP that came back resulted in one corporation that applied and one individual that applied. So it came back a little bit unusually, I think, relative to what the expectations may have been. So given those factual findings, if you all agree with those factual findings and support them, you may vote at this moment to waive the procurement processes pursuant to the procurement code. And then after that, you'd be able to secure an executive director in whatever format you found appropriate.
Any comments from the board? Any questions?
No, Chair, no questions. This was something that I had brought up after, 2 CRA meetings ago when we had lots of different angles going, after reflecting on that meeting, and seeing that, we were probably needing to make a decision sooner rather than later. I got with city staff and CRA staff to really look at making sure that we looked at all of our options. And I spoke to Andrew, and he told me of our procurement policy and how there is this waiver opportunity where we could really holistically look at the options and discuss it. And I know, during that meeting, Chair/Mayor, but Chair, I know that, there was options to go with a person or go with a company. And so I wanted to bring this up so we could make a decision, because I didn't want to string it longer than it really needed to be. We weren't sure how many responses, like you mentioned, Catherine, how many responses we were going to get to an RFP. And as Andrew can say, can tell us, sometimes we get, 50 responses to an RFP, which could drag it out for months and months. And so now we're in a position where we only had really one, I feel like, qualified response to the RFP. So I feel like we're in a different situation today than we otherwise would have been. So, that's why I brought this up. So I would move to waive the procurement requirements for this item specifically, to kind of move this forward.
I'll second that.
I have a question. Catherine, what would happen if we do not waive the procurement code? I do believe there's a reason why we have procurement policies, and I'm not a fan of going around our policies. I think there's a reason why they exist. So can we talk about what would happen if we do not waive that and what that process would look like?
Sure, absolutely. So right now, though, there is a general, in the city procurement policy, there is a general exception for procurement of management consultants. But the way it reads, it would essentially be the consultants that are under the authority of your executive director in this case, because we somewhat translate the city procurement code to the CRA, so the titles change a little. So it is not completely out of line that a management consultant would be procured outside the normal competitive procurement process. It just wasn't natively available to the CRA at this point. You have issued an RFP. You could go through and if this process is not waived, you can go through and consider the responses, or you may reject all the responses. You've also secured an individual who's indicated interest in serving in the executive director role through Renee Narlock and Associates. You could also elect to consider her. The difficulty lies a little bit in the fact that those were secured through two different processes. And so just to have the discussion with you all be able to take place in sort of one conversation, it makes sense to waive the procurement processes so that you can talk about consideration of the candidate at the same time as you can talk about the consideration of those who responded to the RFP. In addition, roles like this are often exempt, and in statutory situations for other agencies, the sort of upper level management roles are often exempt from ordinary procurement processes. So it isn't, it's a fairly standard practice to make a personal selection based on the opportunities available.
So is there something that precludes us from looking at the response to the RFP as well as the job applicant?
I would not recommend that you consider responses to an RFP and responses to a separate procurement at the same time.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And recapping what you said, we've been trying to find someone since October of 2023 through the headhunter, obviously, and we're just, and now we're out to RFP, but we've been trying for 2 years to find this. So waiving the procurement process is more of an efficient route at this time to expedite things, to get them moving, because we've just been stagnant. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. Although
Okay.
to clarify, we've not engaged with Renee Narlock and Associates for that entire time. There were several processes that were done first. She was
Yeah.
a more recent addition to the effort to locate an executive director.
But we had a prior headhunter before.
No, ma'am,
So,
we
just put it out to-
advertised
okay.
and
Yeah, so we've
Yeah.
had 2 years of trying to look for the right talent. Okay, just
Yes, ma'am.
since I'm still the new kid on the block, I wanted to make sure.
Yes, ma'am. And if I may also, if you would like to consider a friendly amendment to your motion, not from me, but you are also need to make findings and facts. So if you would like to accept the facts presented by staff concerning the time constraints and the uniqueness of the position as part of your motion, that would help it be correct under the policy.
One more question. Is there any type of rule with regard to reasonable time frame to review an RFP?
Is there a rule?
The reason I'm asking is because my understanding, well, there was only one response, but generally speaking, my understanding is that it closed on the 16th, and there were two?
There was a company and then an individual.
Yeah.
There were two responses. The original timeframes that were posted in the RFP indicated that, that this was not the original date to consider the RFP. An addendum was issued on Friday and put out in the same channels as the RFP was put out, notifying of the date change. Even if you waive the procedures tonight, you are under no obligation to make the decision tonight. You all do have a meeting set on October 7th. So you could waive the policy tonight, take the time if you'd like to consider the options, and then make a final decision on the 7th.
Thank you, because the responses were due by September 16th, is my understanding. It was received yesterday, and it was given to my admin. And I work a full-time job. I have not had time to review the entirety of both the RFPs that were submitted. So I do believe that there should be a reasonable time frame for board members making such an important decision to fully review what we're voting on and what we're agreeing to, especially with a decision of this caliber. So I just wanted to keep the board to keep that in mind.
If I may offer a procedural comment, I apologize for continuing to jump in. Oh, sorry, please.
Just to clarify, before we get into that dialogue, we have a motion on the table to waive that procurement services. And from what you mentioned, Catherine, is in order to even have that conversation, we would need to waive that.
I'm sorry
Correct.
if that was not clear. We can discuss the procedural portions of an RFP at this point. Again, I wouldn't discourage, I would not
Not the
recommend,
content of
not
the
the content, the
applications.
applications, correct. So, and to clarify procedurally, if you all elect to waive the procurement procedures tonight, the basis for doing that would be that you do not wish to undertake the ordinary RFP process because you already have that in motion. So if you waive tonight, you could then vote to essentially reject all the responses to the RFP and then just consider anything that you want on October 7th. So just, I want you to understand procedurally, if you elect to waive the policy tonight, right, then you may then decide that you don't wish to continue under the RFP process. That'll have to be a separate decision, and that you would like to just consider all of the options before you.
And can we do the opposite? The question is, are we allowed to consider one of these options if we waive this policy tonight?
If you waive the policy tonight, you may consider any option.
Okay, thank you.
Other comments before we?
No, so I'm just going to amend my motion to accept the fact and findings of staff as it pertains to the waiver of the procurement policy.
Second.
We now have a motion on the table, and we have a second. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay.
Nay.
Motion passes 4-1.
Okay, at this juncture, you have waived all of the ordinary procurement processes, which means you are no longer bound to follow a competitive solicitation process. You have already put out a competitive solicitation, so at this point, you may elect to proceed with it. You may elect to reject all bids. You may elect to consider the candidate that has been brought forward by Renee Narlock and Associates. We'll need your direction on how to proceed, and I can assist with any motions that may be necessary to procedurally perfect that process.
Chair.
Yes.
So, and I will speak for myself. I won't speak for anyone else. But when we went down this road 2 meetings ago, I was anxious to fill this spot, and after reflecting after that meeting and really taking into consideration my colleagues, in particular you, Chair, that position works closely with the chair, and I certainly wouldn't want to have someone in that position that you did not support and did not feel like was a good fit for you. And I, so upon reflection, I think that, we did, proceed or decide to move forward with an individual candidate as well as looking at, the RFP. But I know that you had voted against the individual selection because, and you have your reasons, and I won't go into that because that's up to you. But because you felt that that wasn't the right fit, I feel like it's my duty to support you in that, because we really need to make sure that everyone on this dais is in agreement with who will move forward. And so the chair that we have is, she is very involved in all the aspects of the city and is meeting with staff on a regular basis. And I really wanted her to feel comfortable with whoever this new executive director is. And so if that means that we move forward with a firm until we find the right fit, we need to move the CRA forward. We need to start with our comprehensive plan. We need to start putting forth the things that are important to this board. And so, so that's my position on that, is that after that meeting, upon reflecting, I really want to make sure that you, Chair, are really comfortable with the position. And so, I'm going to support you on your position.
I appreciate that, Board Member Kelly. Board Member Turkin, do you have anything before I say something?
Yes, thank you, Chair. I also have a full-time job, and I think we can all agree this takes a lot of full-time time. And I did review the RFP of both applicants. I made my position very known as far as the single candidate recruitment from the headhunter. Looking at this RFP, I am extremely impressed with what was proposed, especially comparatively to the other one. And the experience, the knowledge, just the granular details of what the plan will be was extremely impressive. And I do not want to miss this opportunity to move forward. So with that, I would like to make a motion to move forward with RMA as the executive firm.
I would like to ask a question. I'll second for discussion. How many pages were the responses to the RFP? Anybody that can answer that?
Say that again.
How many pages were the responses to the RFP? There were 2 responses. We're claiming that we reviewed this entire thing in less than 24 hours. How many
First
pages?
one
There's at
was-
least 50, 60 pages in best estimate, give or take.
Well, the first one was only 18,
Right.
besides other documents, and then you have a full presentation of RMA. So,
It was emailed yesterday as well, digitally, before the hard copies were delivered.
yeah, which
Yesterday, right.
minus all of the documents, you're looking at the same.
We're
thing.
having this meeting at 5:30 PM after a full day of work. I don't believe that this is enough time to review it. I'm not against going forward with any of the proposed applicants, but I do think that this is an important enough decision that we need to give a reasonable time frame. And even when we have commission meetings and things on the agenda, a reasonable time frame oftentimes means about at least 3 to 4 days or a week of letting people know that this is going to be up for a vote. I strongly would suggest to the board to give this a reasonable time frame. I don't believe that 24 hours is enough time to review this, knowing that today was a full workday and we had this meeting at 5:30. So unless you guys already, I won't say any further than that, but I think that there should be a little bit more time to review this. Nobody is going to withdraw from this after spending time and effort in submitting an application. And I do believe that it is in the best interest of the residents, of the taxpayers, to have an educated board and to be able to have a decision that's made with facts and figures and within a reasonable time frame. That's all I'm asking.
Sure, if I may.
Please.
Yeah, I think part of that is, I'll speak for myself. I take doing my due diligence extremely seriously, and I've made an effort to be diligent about this because we've been at this for 2 years, right? This is not a new thing.
24 hours?
We've been looking for an executive leader for 2 years.
We received the responses to
I'm
this
not done
RFP on the
talking.
16th.
Right. No, we're not
And
gonna-
we received it yesterday afternoon by email.
Can I finish? Because what one individual may think is urgent doesn't necessarily another does. You can't compare one's work ethic or urgency to another. And I don't appreciate that because it seems like that's undermining my ability of comprehension.
So, Catherine, real quick, can we, so, right now, there's a motion, and it was seconded. That just says that we're gonna go down this road. We would still have to talk about, we would still have a presentation, we would still talk about a contract. And then if that didn't work and we didn't, then we're back to square one. So I don't, I mean, can you please just explain briefly what this, it's not, what the
Sure.
finality is of where we are?
So I was going to advise that the motion to accept a particular company is premature if we go down the RFP. Right now, you still have an RFP. You've not dispensed with the RFP. If you're going to evaluate it, then you need to follow the evaluation of proposals that's set forth in the RFP, which does include scoring and running through the entire process. If you all wish to do that tonight, you can. If you wish to make that available to you on the 7th, staff and legal can be prepared to bring that to you. It's whatever you wish, but it is, unless you are completely dispensing with the RFP, which you may reject all bids, and then you may elect to have staff and legal try to negotiate with any one of your choosing. You can do that, but if we stay under the RFP, the process at this point needs to be followed unless, we take further actions to dispense with that.
It's just sort of strange to me that I too just received this not that long ago, and I feel we're trying to rush things a little bit. Yes, we have been at this for over 2 years, and it just surprises me that we're trying to find the perfect match, and at the same time, we selected a person in the highest position of the city who didn't have the full qualification. And so I'm wondering what is the difference? We gave them the direction to staff to start some kind of contract negotiation with one of the individuals that we thought and we agreed on that qualified. And I don't know, I believe they have that under contract or close to it. But again, here we are talking about going with, I haven't read this, I haven't had the opportunity to look at it yet because it was just given to me. And I think, again, we're rushing things. And I don't understand why we've been waiting for too long, for 2 years, why all of a sudden that we're in such a hurry to go with a consultant rather than looking at those that are qualified, that are waiting to get this position and are qualified to do it. So I'm not ready to make a decision tonight. I would be looking at this with a fine-tooth comb, and I'll be ready by October 7th or whenever our next meeting is to make a decision on this. But something doesn't feel right here. I'm not a witch doctor or nothing like that. I'm not saying that, but it just doesn't feel right to be given something and asked to make a decision right now when we've had over 2 years to consider this. So I'm not ready tonight to make a decision.
I will just say this. It has been 2 years. We are dealing with budget. We are dealing with big decisions. We are dealing with acquisitions of parcels. And if the right candidate had come along before I was this chair, I would have trusted that this board would have chosen one. But out of all of the applications that we received to date, in my opinion, everyone, minus being able to read these documents, everyone has had plenty of time to go to those municipalities that we received those applicants and see what those cities were like. And they did not match Boynton. They did not have the challenges of Boynton. They did not have the experience in every single capacity that we need to run this CRA properly, whether that was for the historical side, whether that was for budgeting, whether that was for attracting the right business, whether that was for land acquisition. You couldn't combine all of those applicants at one together and get enough. So I don't think we're rushing it. I think that we have been waiting and waiting, and finally we open up to an RFP process and get a company that has a proven track record, and I'll stand behind it. Board Member Turkin, you have something to say?
No, just want to, there's a motion on the table. If I can just get some clarification. That motion is to move forward with, we have the ability to move forward with a selection from the RFP, and then at the October 7th meeting, we could have a presentation and make the final decision at that point in time?
I'd like to make a clarification. I believe your motion was for a specific selection, and that is premature prior to the
Okay.
evaluation process, so it may be prudent at this point to withdraw that motion.
Okay, I'll withdraw that motion.
Okay, thank you. And then, if you all would like to make a motion to direct staff and legal to continue with the RFP process and prepare for October 7th, we will do that, if that's your wish. And at that point, I would also ask that you consider whether you would like for staff to terminate negotiations with the candidate presented by Renee Narlock and Associates and terminate that contract as well, just, or bring them back, whatever is your preference, but we'll need direction on those two things separately.
Yeah, so I've made my position known. I read through that presentation twice, yesterday and today, and a once-over before this meeting, and that's why I was late, sorry. And so I mean, just looking at this comparatively to everything else we've seen, this is a great opportunity. I would like to move forward. I guess the question is, do we move forward with the RFP, or do we have the ability to select them now? I guess that's what I'm understanding. And then in doing either of those things, do we have to eliminate or terminate the negotiations with the candidate from Renee's firm?
Sure, so there's several questions there. The first is you may consider them now if you run through the full RFP evaluation process, or you may choose to reject all of the bids, and then you can just select someone without running through the evaluation process. So those are options to consider the candidates that have done by RFP. You are not required to terminate the discussions with Renee Narlock and Associates and Chris Morey, the candidate put forward. If you'd like to consider all of the options at the October 7th meeting, you may also do that.
Okay.
So just, I guess, Chair, I'll defer to you on this, but I'm comfortable with continuing with, giving my colleagues an opportunity to review. I had an opportunity to review what we received as well. But an opportunity to review the RFP October 7th is not too far away, to really look at that and make sure that everyone has an opportunity to review what was presented, and but I'm glad we're at least, moving that forward. So that's my position on that. I think it just gives everyone an opportunity to review the information, and if you're okay with that, then
I am.
that's fine.
So
And I ask the board to please do their research, and if that means driving down to these other municipalities and seeing, instead of just trusting what's on paper or what's said, because the proof is in the economics of these other cities, and you can see it.
Sure, if I may. So I'll make a motion to continue the RFP process and have that presentation on October 7th, and ultimately make that decision then, with not stopping the negotiations with the current candidate. Is that okay?
I'll second for discussion, and I do have to say, I agree with that. I think that's reasonable. It gives the board more than 24 hours to review. Although we have been in this process for 2 years, it is inaccurate to say that we have been reviewing this for 2 years because we just received the RFP results yesterday. So I just want to clarify for the record. I would be fine with discussing this on October 7th after we actually review a presentation and not vote prematurely before we review a presentation. Thank you.
We have a motion on the table to continue the RFP process to present on October 7th, not stopping the negotiations with the Renee
Narlock and Associates,
Narlock
yes,
and
ma'am.
Associates. And we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously.
For that meeting.
Chair, I'm going to go ahead and ask that we table 9D, given the discussion that we just had.
Agree. Do I have a second?
Motion to table.
Second.
We have a motion to table 9D, and I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. If there's anything else from my colleagues tonight, if not, further discussion, we have a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion to adjourn, and we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We will take a 5-minute break, Maylee,
Yes.
while we set up for the commission meeting. Thank you so much for everyone in the room. If you could just be patient with us for 5 minutes. If everyone can be seated. Good evening and welcome to the City of Boynton Beach City Commission meeting. Today is Thursday, September 18th, 2025, and the time is 6:36 p.m. We will now turn to the city clerk for roll call.
Mayor Shelton,
Present.
Vice Mayor Hay,
Present.
Commissioner Cruz,
Present.
Commissioner Turkin,
Present.
Commissioner Kelly.
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you.
Mayor, if I may, before we start the invocation, I would like to see if we could have a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk and all those who have suffered and their families from political violence.
Sure. Thank you. Vice Mayor, will you lead our invocation? And Commissioner Kelly, will you do our pledge?
Let us pray. Eternal Father, we pause this evening to acknowledge your presence in this place. We thank you for the gift of life, health, and strength, and for the privilege of serving the great people of the city of Boynton Beach. Lord, we ask for your wisdom to rest upon our mayor, vice mayor, and commissioners, and all who have gathered here this evening. Guide our thoughts, study our hearts, and direct our decision so that everything done tonight will be to the good of our residents and for the betterment of this community that we all love. Bless every employee, staff member who work faithfully behind the scenes. Strengthen our neighborhoods, protect our first responders, and keep our city safe and united. Grant us the spirit of respect, cooperation, vision, so that this meeting will move us closer to justice, fairness, and prosperity for all. And when this meeting has ended, may we leave with a renewed sense of hope and commitment to serve with integrity and with compassion. We ask these blessings in your name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. We are now moving on to the agenda approval, additions, deletions, agenda approval, additions, deletions, and corrections. Let's begin to my left with Commissioner Turkin. If you have any additions, deletions, or corrections to the agenda.
I have nothing, Mayor.
Thank you. Commissioner Kelly,
No, thank you.
Vice Mayor Hay,
None for me.
and Commissioner Cruz.
None for me, thank you.
Motion to approve?
Second.
We have a motion to approve, and we have a second. May all of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. We will now move on to informational items by the members of the City Commission. Let's begin on my right with Commissioner Cruz.
I have a quick disclosure for the PBA-CBA. Had a conversation with Corey, but I don't know what number that was. Other than that, I do not have any other
You,
disclosures.
Vice Mayor Hay.
6I.
Yeah, I'd like to say
Aye.
we did have a successful International Economic Development conference, and there was quite a bit of information. And I'd like to say the city and the CRA received international awards at that conference. And so we should be very proud of both our city and our CRA being recognized internationally. Thank you.
Commissioner Kelly?
I have no information on it. Well, I guess I can bring up, Commissioner Cruz and I attended a welcome home ceremony by Habitat for Humanity for one of our veterans in our community. The city partnered with Habitat as well as other organizations, Via's Construction and some other entities in the community to repair this veteran's home that was completely dilapidated. It was in horrible shape. And so we had a welcome home ceremony for him the other night, and it was very, it was a great kickoff to him having a new home. It's been a long time coming. It was actually a 2-year process. Adam, you remember, Andrew too. It's been a long process to get him back in his home, but that was exciting to be a part of that. So, thank you.
Commissioner Turkin?
Thank you, Mayor. I want to take this moment to address the tragedy that this whole nation endured last week. Charlie Kirk was an American, a loving husband, a father, and a man devoted in his faith, whose life was tragically cut short. I want to sincerely thank all of those up here who did not let divisive politics hold you back from condemning this brutal murder. You chose passion, unity, and togetherness, which reflects the very principles that this body should endure in. At the same time, I must call out something unacceptable from a local school member representing our community who recently compared Charlie Kirk to Adolf Hitler. That is an extremely bigoted and harmful statement. While I'm a big proponent of free speech, I think there's some things that should be better left unsaid, especially when we're given the opportunity to leverage a platform. You think someone in that position would be capable of doing a little more research before making such a hastily divisive remark at such a horrible stage in our country's political climate? If there's ever an example of what not to do in a time of mourning and extreme political divide, it is making an egregious and polarizing comment like that. I hope that individual will reflect and recant his words, recognizing the damage and further divide this may cause. And I'll say this, it's you who isn't using your platform effectively. To those who have remained silent, hesitant, or unsure, I urge you to step outside of your echo chambers and look at the movement of tens of millions of Americans, especially in my generation, the younger generation that were impacted by this tragedy, not just in the United States of America, but around the world. They have been galvanized in the name of unity, standing with a widow and children left without their father. Again, I commend those who put people, compassion, and unity over politics. This is how we best honor not just Charlie's memory and voice, but all of those in all political parties who have suffered from political violence. I look forward to having this conversation on how we can honor these individuals with public partnership and private dollars. Thank you.
Thank you. I have no informational items or anything to disclose, so we are going to be moving on. The next agenda item is proposed resolution number R25-243 to authorize the annual comprehensive fee schedule rate changes to FY 25-26. Staff, if you could please begin your presentation.
Good evening, Anthony Davidson here, Deputy Finance Director. I have just something very brief to present. There wasn't many changes on the fee schedule from last year to this year, but I'm just going to highlight a few. The first one was the golf course pretty much increased, and if I need to bring up the schedule itself on screen, I can. But it's very brief. The golf course increased the family preseason membership fee by $1,000. The individual premium season membership went up by $1,500. That's the only change that occurred at the golf course. The recreation department did not change any of the rates. You guys last year, December 24, actually adopted new rates. The only thing they did differently was to establish refundable security deposits, and those security deposits were for special events to the tune of $500 to $1,000 the most, and for pavilion rental for $100. And again, these are refundable security deposits. The next change that occurred on the fee schedule had to do with the sanitation rates. They were increased by $1.50. So for single family and multifamily, again, the change was only $1.50. And depending on the quantity and the number of pickups for commercial dumpsters, compactors, and roll-off, the increase ranged from anywhere from $8 to $50. And that's pretty much it. And pretty much anything as it pertains to the utility rates, the director for the utilities department will expand on that. So not many changes. Like I said, the golf course, solid waste, $1.50, range of, for the compactors and recreation implemented a refundable security deposit. Not many things.
Thank
All right.
you.
Any more questions?
Anyone have any questions? Any comments? If there's nothing else?
I guess I do have.
Okay.
I was out at the Links Golf Course a couple of weeks back, and I'm not a golfer, but they had me driving balls, okay. That platform where you drive the balls doesn't have a canvas over it. And I was wondering, it shouldn't be that expensive to put a canvas over that people that are driving the balls so they wouldn't be directly in the sun. Would that be an item that we could look at and include? You have any feel for what the cost might be? I know it's kind of late in the game, but it just came to mind.
Yes, sir. That is something we can look at. There are some reasons there because you do have real grass there. It's not, and we do have some mats there, so it couldn't cover all of it. And we also are looking at, we're starting the design of the new clubhouse in the Academy Golf Course. So when we look at that, we'll incorporate some kind of shade structure over the driving range.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Just for clarification, are we going to discuss the parking fees over by City Hall? Say again?
The era?
The error, yeah. I don't know if we need to readdress that.
I can address it now if you like.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so obviously with the construction boom we're in right now, we have a lot of activity in our downtown. It's going to be more difficult coming up in the future. We already experienced some of this over near Hurricane Alley, where we're having a high demand for parking and the parking is not turning over. So what I have done is I had asked our parking division to come up with a plan that we weren't implementing at this time, but to plan for when we need to implement it, some type of restriction so that we're making sure we're freeing up parking. So what happened was that was let out to the press and era. They did run the story. We did recant that story. So there are no parking restrictions currently on Ocean Avenue or any of the city lots. We're not intending them at this time. But with Town Square and Time Equities probably getting to start within the next, I would say, next 9 to 12 months, this is going to become a very real issue. But that will be brought back before this commission.
Mm-hmm.
This commission will weigh in on that with the rates, what all those restrictions are and what locations and how we're going to transact that. So I do apologize to the commission, the mayor, and the city manager. There was some stuff on social media that happened. We did get that corrected, but there is no changes at this time. Only parking that we're charging at for now is at Oyer Park and Oceanfront Park.
And for clarification, the parking pass at Oyer Park has been reduced to pre-COVID times from $250 to $100.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
The annual pass for all Florida residents is now $100.
Perfect.
Great.
Awesome.
Okay, if there's nothing else, may we have a motion to approve resolution number
So moved.
R25-243?
Second.
Vice Mayor Hay moved to approve resolution number R25-243. Commissioner Turkin seconded the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. The next agenda item is proposed resolution number R25-231 to authorize the City Commission to set the rates, fees, and charges for the water, wastewater, stormwater, and reuse water for fiscal year 25-26 and adopting preliminary rates through fiscal year 28-29. Staff, could you please begin the presentation?
And Dr. Colcat is coming up.
Thank you so much.
in the back.
Come on down. It's all right. I always feel like Bob Barker when I say that.
Price is right.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Commissioners. I apologize. I just had too many stacks and stacks of sheets with me. The utilities has really worked on with our rate consultant to really look at what the needs are for the future. And a lot of our needs are driven by infrastructure, frankly, more than anything else, especially the water treatment plant that will require a lot of money to be able to build and meet the regulations that are coming in a couple of years for us. So we've sat down with each of the commissioners and the mayor to go over what the needs are. And besides the water treatment plant, also the infrastructure in the field, the underground utilities, our lift stations, the system itself is getting old and not a lot has been invested in the system in the past few years. And so because of that, we are reaching that inflection point where we need to make sure that we are investing so that we can continue having functional systems for the future generations. So all of those things have been considered in coming up with what can be, what the rates need to be. And so what we are presenting is what we say, what is required based on the calculations and analysis that we've done. We've also we are continuing to look at affordability. So if there are customers who can't afford these rates, there are programs in place that we can help out with. We have payment plans that we can set up and work through. We've also presented that compared to other municipalities in the area, we are one of the lowest rates for utilities. And that's just to say that as the cost of construction hasn't really increased and gone up and regulations have come down, we just need to invest a lot more. If you don't invest in the infrastructure, we're starting to see more failures, and we just don't want to get to a point where we are having more failures than we can fix in time. And fixing anything in an emergency is almost 3 to 5 times more costly. So just wanted to present that. I want to also appreciate Commissioner Cruz and Vice Mayor Hay that have come in and done some tours. I'm inviting everybody else. I know I'm setting something up with Commissioner Kelly, the Mayor, Commissioner Turkin. I'd love to give you some tours of the water treatment plant so you can hear from the operators, see the conditions of our facilities yourself, so you'll be aware of what the needs are. But I'm here to answer any questions that you might have.
Just one question, Mrs. Moore, for the public. What happened 2 weekends ago that wasn't due to this situation, right? That was
No.
something that had happened with a Del Rey staffer or something?
No.
Okay.
It was basically, we had contractors working just inside the plant, and a pipe broke while the work had been done. So there are some things that we've learned lessons. We always do lessons learned after that to look at what kind of things can be put in place. So it's really that was not an infrastructure-related issue, but those kind of things can become a problem more and more.
Okay. And I just would like to say to the community that we are going to get better at delivering that information in a more timely manner right away. I was able to put it out on my social in the morning, but I know the city had some technical stuff they had to work out, and we're going to be working that out so that doesn't happen again, and there won't be those delays to the community for emergencies like this and any other emergency.
And I'll personally apologize for that, and we are already working on getting some templates in place, making sure that there are statements that we can put out to let people know. We're also developing what needs to happen, depending on the number of people that might be impacted. Do we do reverse 911 or not? Okay. So we are coming up with those processes. So we had them in place, but this was a little bit bigger than something that has happened to us. And so, and because sometimes if it's the whole city, it's easier. Everybody is. When you have to determine exactly where their line is, where you're going to say that this is the number of people who are going to get impacted, it requires a little bit more information gathering, and that took us a little bit of time.
Thank you so much.
Poonam, just a question for informational purpose. The fact that it affected only those east of I-95, is that assumption that the east plant serviced the east side and the west plant serviced west of I-95?
It's not, the system is contiguous, but obviously as the water leaves the plant, the closest you are to the plant, those areas are going to get that water first, and then everything will get mixed towards the middle of the plants. So this break occurred at the east plant, and it was only one side. So we have what are called points of entry into the distribution system. Okay. So there are a couple of different pipes that leave the plant. This was one pipe that was leaving the plant, so that's why we had to kind of try and determine where exactly is that area. So we went, it was a precautionary boil water because we knew that it was, most of the issue was more because of the pressures. When pressure changes happen, water will really move back and forth, and it'll cause some of the stirring of the water, and that's what the coloring of the water, discoloration that some people saw as complaints, that's what came out. So we wanted to make sure that we had put a precautionary boil water out. But the pressures came up really fairly quickly. Staff really reacted very, very quickly and fixed everything. The contractor came on site, worked with staff, and within hours, within few minutes, we had fixed that so that the water wasn't going out of that at all. And then took us a couple of hours to fix the break. Then we went out throughout the city, whichever the area we knew was east of 95. We actually flushed the system. We also took samples 2 days in a row from all those areas, and we actually went a little bit beyond that. We went up to Congress just to make sure that we were taking samples, and all the samples came out fine, so we knew the water was okay.
Excellent.
At that point.
Thank you, Poonam.
If there's nothing else, may we have a motion to approve resolution number R25-231?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you.
Commissioner Kelly made the motion to approve. Commissioner Cruz made the second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay.
Nay.
Motion passes 4-1. The next agenda item is proposed resolution number R25-244 to approve the millage rate for the fiscal year 25-26 and proposed resolution number R25-245 to approve tentative budget for fiscal year 25-26. Maylee, please read R25-244 and R25-245 into the record, please.
Public hearing and approval of proposed resolution number R25-244, a resolution of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, adopting a final millage rate for the city's general operating fund for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2025, and ending September 30th, 2026, providing that the final millage rate of 7.7500 mils is 5.06% above the rollback rate of 7.3764 mils, providing for severability, conflicts, and providing for an effective date. Also, public hearing and approval of proposed resolution number 25-245, a resolution of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, adopting a final budget for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2025, and ending September 30, 2026, providing for severability, conflicts, and an effective date.
Staff, if you could please begin the presentation.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. We do have a presentation. We just want to remind you that it's a very similar presentation from the one we gave out last time in the first hearing. The only change, it's what the Commission decided to just change the millage rate from 7.8 to 7.75. So I'm more than happy to go over the presentation if the commissioners like me to do so.
Want a presentation?
No, I mean, I'm going to stick with my position of going down to 7.7 mils. We've seen an increase of the ad valorem property value this year, and so, you know, I think we can cut a little bit more and continue the trend, the downward trend that we've seen this body. You know, I think we have the ability to do a tenth of a mil versus half of a tenth. So I'll stick with that proposal.
Any other comments from my colleagues?
I'll go ahead and, sorry.
Go ahead,
I was just gonna
Commissioner Cruz.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve resolution number R25-244, which is reducing the millage rate from 7.8 to 7.75.
Excuse me, before we hear the motion, we need to allow public hearing.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, we can make motion and still have the.
Second, and then do public comment?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Been moving properly second. Now we'll go to public comments. Anyone want to speak on this particular item? We're going from 7.8 to 7.75. Please come forward and do so at this time. Mike on the right, on my right, your left.
Cindy Falco Di Corrado. Thank you for that, but I concur with what Thomas had said. I think we can keep lowering this down. I don't know, I know we just had the other thing. My bill went up $245 a year assessment for water, utilities, and it just never ends. And then you have the police, the fire department. We're just being hit left and right on taxes, but I do appreciate you going lower, but I think we still could do better. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment? If you have it, get to the podium, sir.
Please step up to the
On this
mic and
item.
state your.
And it is only on this item.
I guess it works, right?
Yeah.
Oh, or is this the regular public comment?
No, it's
Like
only
the-
on this item.
It's about the what?
It's only on this item.
The
Yeah.
millage rate.
Okay, no, thank you.
Great. Okay. If there's nothing else?
We have a motion and a second.
You already do have a motion and a second? Okay. We have a motion for R25-244 and a second. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All of those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously.
Yeah, the second.
So this is a public hearing. I would now open up to public comments for resolution. Oh, we already did that one, okay.
we did that.
If there's nothing, we're past that.
We need to
Okay.
do a public
We have to
hearing
do it
on
on the second one.
R25-245.
Okay. Public hearing on it. Any public comments? Because we have a presentation, anything?
It's relating to the adoption of the final
Okay.
budget.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve resolution number R25-245? Commissioner Turkin made the motion. Vice Mayor Hay made the second. All of those in favor say aye.
No.
Oh,
We need public
comment.
hearing.
Public comment.
Sorry. Anyone have any public comment? Nope. Okay. We have a motion, and we have a second. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All of those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Moving on, we will now move on to presentations. We have a proclamation for Alzheimer's Awareness Month. Commissioner Cruz requested this proclamation, and we'll read it into the record. The proclamation will be received by Nina Sharp, the manager for Walk to the End of Alzheimer's for Palm Beach.
Thank you, Mayor. Whereas nearly 7 million Americans are living with Alzheimer's, whereas Palm Beach County ranks in the top 10 in the U.S. for the largest number of people living with Alzheimer's, an estimated 51,600. Whereas more than 840,000 Floridians serve as caregivers for someone living with Alzheimer's. Whereas 1 in 3 older Americans dies with Alzheimer's or another type of dementia. It kills more than breast cancer and prostate cancer combined. Whereas the City of Boynton Beach recognizes the efforts of the Alzheimer's Association to highlight early detection and diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease and other dementias, education, support, and research, thereby improving the financial, physical, and emotional health for those living with Alzheimer's disease and their caregivers. Now therefore, I, Angela Cruz, City Commissioner,
And I, Mayor Rebecca Shelton,
declare September as Alzheimer Awareness Month.
and is Nina here for you to present it? Nina, come on down. And anyone else that may be with you. I think you have some wonderful people beside you, so please, all of you, come on down. Yeah, of course.
Thank you. Hi, again, I'm Nina Sharp. I'm the manager for the Walked-In Alzheimer's for Palm Beach and Treasure Coast. Thank you so much, Commissioner Cruz, for reaching out, Vice Mayor and Mayor and all commissioners. We really appreciate this proclamation and bringing the awareness, as Commissioner Cruz spoke, over 7 million Americans, 580,000 Floridians have Alzheimer's. So your support is so impactful. There is hope that's emerging. We're working hard as an organization for care support and research for Alzheimer's. And one of the ways that we do that is with our Walk to End Alzheimer's, which is coming up. It's in Dreyer Park. It's November 22nd. So I keep saying October. November 22nd at Dreyer Park South, right across from the Palm Beach Zoo. And during the walk, we actually have a ceremony called the Promise Garden Ceremony. And I have some of my committee members here that I just wanted to briefly just tell what the meanings of the flowers are. And just because of time, I'm just going to have, these are a few of my committee members. This is Laura with Valencia Reserve, one of our biggest teams. They raise over $57,000 a year. One community makes such a difference. And Laura is just going to talk about our yellow flower.
Hi, I'm Laura Sandler, and this is our yellow flower, which represents somebody that is a caregiver for people with Alzheimer's. So both of my parents are both in their 90s, and they both have Alzheimer's, and that's my job.
Hi, my name's Liz Sandler, and what I'm holding here is the orange flower. The orange flower represents a world without Alzheimer's. It's a view that in the future, we will have a cure for Alzheimer's. Right now, we have drugs that can that can slow progression of disease, but we cannot cure it. And the hope is that we will have a cure in the future for Alzheimer's disease. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Stephanie, and I have purple flower, which is for anyone that has passed away from the disease. I had a dear family friend that I knew since a little girl that passed away from it. His name was Vern, so this is for Vern. I have been fortunate enough not to have any immediate family or anyone very close in my family with it, so I thank everything in my lucky stars for that. This is for, the blue one is for if you're taking care of someone with Alzheimer's. Sorry, I messed it up. If you have the disease, the blue flower is anyone that has the disease. So we have a representation of all of our flowers here. And thank you for recognizing us.
And I'll just finish with, and they're the white flower. We just have one at the walk. It's a very powerful experience because that is for our first survivor with Alzheimer's. So we ask everyone to join together. Let's not just hope for a cure. Let's find one together. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your proclamation. We really appreciate it. Again, the walk is Saturday, November 22nd at Dreyer Park. If anybody's interested in joining a walk team or starting a team, just go to alz.org/Palm Beach Walk. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, please.
Just wanted to say, for the record, the reason I'm passionate about this, and I happen to have the purple flower, is because my grandmother died of Alzheimer's.
Perfect. Let's get in. Yeah. Thank you.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Really
much.
resend it to me. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for
Mr.
coming.
Chris. Thank you. This is amazing. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We are now moving on to public audience portion of the meeting. As always, it is 3 minutes per person and it's non-transferable. The same rules will apply. The speaker must address the commission as a whole, not an individual on the dais or in the audience. Insults, personal attacks, and disruptions are not permitted, and you may be asked to leave the meeting should you violate these rules. After we've concluded in-person comments, we'll move to online comments. We do ask that if you do want to speak, please start lining up at the podium. So come on down and line up now so that we can rotate podiums. So if you are speaking, I ask that you do come on down. And sir, you're first. And if you could state your name, please.
Thank you. My name is Gary Philweber, and the reason I came by tonight is I have a program that works with employers, whether it could be a town, could be a pizzeria, could be a hospital, could be nonprofit, that through the IRS section, well, I don't know the details, but you get the employees get benefits that the city or the employer wouldn't have to pay for, and it would save tax dollars as well. I didn't get a chance to see how many employees the city of Boynton Beach has before tonight. Do you know offhand?
800.
About 800?
A little over 900, yeah.
Okay, so you're talking anywhere, talk about a lot of money. Talking about like $700,000 a year in tax savings. So I'd like to follow up with someone and come back. I live in Delray, and talk about the program. HR or mayor or whomever.
City staff is going to get somebody with you, sir.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Next, please.
How you doing? David Cass, Boynton Beach. First, on past Friday, there was the senior prom. It was wonderful. All of you were there. I'd like to thank, I understand Mary DeGraffinite and Cody Bonanno of that staff were involved. If I'm missing anybody, I apologize, but they put on a great show. And you know it was great because that dance floor was never empty, and that's why.
Right.
After this, you have the appointments for the boards, and again, I'd like to speak about three of the appointees, Mr. Charlie Holder, who's not a resident and is seeking to be on a quasi-judicial board. He lives on Military Trail out of our city, and I don't think that'd be a good idea. With all due respect to Barbara Reedy, a former long-term resident, she's seeking to be reappointed to the Historic Preservation Board, or Resource Board, whatever it's called, and again, she's a non-resident. And a Dennis Moore-Meal, who is seeking an appointment to the Senior Advisory Board. He lives west of Jog Road, and he's not a resident, and so I would urge you not to appoint them. And because it is going to be reading a first reading of an ordinance about the annexation, I want to say it's a good move. It's low-hanging fruit, Bamboo Lane, Palmyra. We have communities in the city who are on the west side of Lawrence Road, and this is a good start to make it right. And if anybody's from out west is against, getting annexed, my suggestion would be to possibly voluntarily, instead of paying a 25% surcharge on their water bill, pay a 50% surcharge, and that way maybe we not annex you. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, please.
Hello, my name is Emily Ryan, and I was just looking for an update on the plaza in between Lake Street and Oak Street, when that would be demolished. So that's all I was looking for. Thank you.
Thank you. Yep.
Hello, my name is Dana Knights. I'm actually regarding Ordinance 31 with the annexation of Palmyra. I would just like to know who could we go to for more guidance regarding this. For example, we'd like to know how our taxes will change, services such as we'll get additional policing. Is there a plan for service transitions such as trash? When would exactly would take effect? And what about items like we've already paid taxes to the county, we've already I've already, for example, just already paid my alarm permit. How will that stuff be transitioned over? And honestly, I don't even know what district we would be in. So we'd just like someone to give us more guidance regarding this, not saying no, not saying yes, we'd just like more information. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Suzanne Calwera, and it's also about the annexation. I am a Palmyra homeowner as well, and she already raised some of my questions as well, and I'm sorry I have to read. But just that the annexation will likely raise property taxes and utility fees, and what's the benefits to our neighborhood? What is this going to bring us? I've lived there since it was built in 2024 for 21 years. And we've already received the adequate fire, police, waste services from the county. And the city taxes would force us to pay for services twice that we don't need. We're already getting services satisfactorily. So, and then pointing out the annexation might affect fixed income residents or those on tight budgets, possibly forcing people out of their homes with higher taxes. And in relation to service and infrastructure and overburdening services, if we're adding our neighborhood to this, to the city, will that spread the city services thinner and have a lower quality for both existing city residents and our neighborhood of Palmyra as well? So those are some of our concerns, because getting this letter after 21 years of living there, and I just, we would just like to have more information, like the other homeowner said, and what's the benefit other than paying higher taxes?
There will be a presentation on this stuff this evening.
There will be,
Yeah, so if
okay.
you just want
And there's
to.
a
Okay, we
website.
weren't sure.
And then we'll
yeah.
have a website for more
Okay.
information, and we can have somebody get back to you with specific questions
My
as well.
apologies.
No
We need to
worries.
open
No,
it to
you're-
the
we're here for
floor.
public
We didn't know
comment,
if
so-
it was going to come up again.
ahead.
Okay, thank you for your time.
No problem. And if you guys are in line to speak and you want to jump over to another podium, that way we can just keep it moving.
I'm probably repetitive in terms of the annexation. I'm a homeowner at 823 Palmer Road for the Bamboo Lane annexation since 1996, and it is going to affect me grossly because I have probably a property that, having purchased way back when, I've been homesteaded for 30-odd years. So this will affect me tremendously in terms of market value, resale value, in terms of like the zip code change alone from 33483, housing market is 960,682 to zip code 33435, it's 302,111. There's a drastic value change in terms of zip codes. If we can maintain our zip codes, that would be a fabulous thing. But I also have a point lot on the intercoastal, kind of a tear-down house, and I have multi-zoning possibility, which would make my property more valuable. And if I lose that zoning to a two-family dwelling, that will affect me greatly upon resale. Among other things also, the millage rate is going to increase for me, basically on a fixed income of 3.783%, higher than what I'm paying right now for Palm Beach County services. So I'd like to know what the repercussions are and what we can grandfather in possibly for zoning particularly. Thank you.
Can you state your name for the record, please?
Kathy Gross.
Thank you. Sir?
Hi, Steve Gallagher, and I'm a resident on Bamboo Lane, so on the same subject that Kathy was talking about. I'm opposed to the annexation as well. We have gotten zero information about anything. Are you planning a presentation on that tonight as well? Because I know you were on the other one, but anyway, yeah, so I've been there for 26 years. I bought in the county because I didn't want extra taxes, extra regulation. I have no need for the additional services. I've been happy with what I've had, and so I'd obviously like to keep it that way. But, you know, we'll see what your presentation is, but I just wanted to go on the record as being opposed to it.
Thank you. Next, please.
Cindy Falco Di Corrado. I don't know, but I live in a single-family home in a single-family neighborhood, not with an HOA. And lately, my neighbor had called me just yesterday and told me that the community services are giving her billing for not having her numbers on her house, even though she has it on her mailbox and it's clearly able to see. My other neighbor came over and he was saying that the city's harassing him because people are parking in the swell. I'm like, we don't live in an HOA. We live in our single-family homes. Why are we being harassed? Why do they come out every day? And I just noticed another one come by again and look at everybody's yard. I live in a very nice neighborhood as far as everybody works together. We try to work together as a community. And they're asking me, I said, I have no idea why you all are being harassed. It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. And I wanted to also bring up in regards to Charlie Kirk, I know we're going to discuss it at the next meeting. He was a big shining star in regards to talking about God, family, and country. And I know that you are a minister, Mr. Hayes, that you should be very pro in having an idea of putting some kind of something near the college or the school, maybe a mural, possibly a street sign, something in honor of somebody who turned the trajectory of our youths to make them understand or have them wake up to what it means to be an American and what it means to love thy neighbor and what it means to be an American citizen. So I hope that when we discuss this, I think we're going to discuss it at the next meeting, that you really think about what he did to bring unity in the community and speak into topics that most people wouldn't even address. So I'm hoping that you will really do your due diligence, study and see what he did, and understand that he was a person, a young man, a very young man, who took on the task to go to colleges to speak about things that most people wouldn't talk about, and yet just get ideas and impart. And I think it's a fabulous thing in order to put something in remembrance so that the youth can look him up and understand what he stood for. And he stood for God, family, and country. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other public comments? If so, now is the time to come down. Please state your name for the record.
Hi, Ernest McNully. I live at 710 Northeast 7th Street, Harbor Hall Inlet, since 2020. And I'd like to say that my development, the one next to us, the neighborhood, is chaos. There's unthinkable crime in the buildings, in the neighborhood. We can't get any help with anything. We can't get replies to anything. We can't get code enforcement to come out and write violations. We can't get fire to come out and write violations. We can't get the city to help us to get records, nothing. And no matter who you email in this city, you never get an answer. I don't care. You could say, there's someone doing drugs right in my hallway now, and the police say, well, you know, you got to contact your HOA. What are you kidding? I mean, where are we? Well, we're in Boynton Beach, that's why. But the crime and the gang and the active shooters and the violence and the drugs and the noise and the is beyond frightening. And you come to these meetings and you're the best actors I've ever seen. You know, you make it sound like you're running a regular city here. You got police and firemen taking almost 75% of the budget, and then you got 800 or 900 employees that you probably don't need 600 of them. And that's why you got to keep making deals with the developers, because if you don't keep developing and raising the property taxes and stuff on everybody, how are you going to pay your salaries? And then I asked somebody, when you come to this meeting, what's going on with like all the police and fire? Well, it's about their contract and their raises. I mean, really, why can't they be that enthusiastic about all the crime out there? I mean, no one says anything about Sims Park or about Pence Park or about the dog park or about Oceanfront Park or about, why not? Why? These are frightening crime scenes. East Ocean Avenue is a frightening crime scene. The marina in Boynton Beach, I mean, you have to be kidding me. The drugs, the violence, the gangs. And then no matter who you call and write to. And another interesting thing, from what I find out from resumes that people who run for office put, associations that they have, to some of these gangs and stuff, is frightening to think that you have city officials that are supportive of and work with gangs. And you say, well, what kind of gang? Name one. Well, how about BLM? Okay? And, you know, there's a lot of people in this city are very down with the BLM. They talk about it.
Thank you, sir. Your time is up.
Can I get 10 more minutes?
Unfortunately not. Thank you. Anyone else for public comment before we look online?
Online, Mayor.
We have no one online, so we will be moving on to the advisory board and appointments. I will turn to the city attorney for an update.
With regard to the advisory boards, we tabled all of them at the last meeting, as you know. I just wanted to give you an update that with regard to the Historic Preservation Board, the two applicants that had waivers, we created a new waiver form, and they, because of the short time turnaround, have not completed those. So I don't know with regard to you all, if you want to just table all of them now and to continue them on the table, or if you want to untable everything except for the Historic Preservation Board.
I would rather do that. I think we've tabled all
would
of
too.
Yeah, I
them
would
for a
too.
long time. I mean, there's some other boards where we don't have this complicated matter, so I would rather leave the Historic Preservation Board tabled and move on with the rest of them, because I don't want to lose those opportunities to appoint people to those boards.
That works for me.
So motion to untable all of the board appointments except for the Historic Preservation Board.
Second.
We have a motion from Commissioner Kelly and a second from Commissioner Turkin. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously.
I do have a question
Yes,
for
sir.
legal, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Is it part of our policy to not appoint those who are not living in the city limits?
We do have a provision in the ordinance which goes to those that either have a business in the city or who live in the city. We did just create the ability to have a waiver for them to either seek an additional term, say it's a board where you don't get enough people, or say it's a board that needs a specialty, and we can certainly waive some of the requirements with regard to specialty. One of them is also living in the city, but that is completely, just because you're allowed to do it, doesn't mean you need to do it. It's within your discretion.
So why do we have those who don't live in the city come to us as a possible appointee? They should not come to us in the first place.
Well, we do allow for waivers now, right? So one of the, with regard to the two waivers that are there, one is for a waiver because they don't live in the city and they are seeking an additional term. I'm not sure how they were appointed previously, but they are seeking an additional term. And then the second person, their waiver is with respect to just seeking another term. So it's my understanding they do live in the city, but they would like to continue serving on the board.
Okay.
But our city form that is required for us to have, we don't have those yet. So I do recommend we keep those tabled at this time.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, moving on. We have 3 applications for the Art Advisory Board, and there's one regular position and one alternate position. The first nomination goes to me. I motion to approve Robin Kurtzman as a regular member of the Arts Board.
Second.
I move to approve Robin Kurtzman as a regular member, and Commissioner Kelly made the second motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. The next nomination goes to Commissioner Kelly. Would you like to make your motion?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I would like to appoint Johanna Zahetner, sorry if I mispronounced your last name, to the Art Advisory Board to that alternate position.
Second.
Commissioner Kelly moved to approve Joanna Zahetner, and Commissioner Cruz made the second. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. We have one application for the Building Board of Adjustment and Appeals, and there are 3 regular positions and 1 alternate position available. The nomination goes to Vice Mayor Hay. Would you like to make your motion?
Yes. What's that name?
Charlie Holder.
Dennis? No. I hesitate because, you know, I got this thing about not living in the city, and I don't think I want to waive that on Charlie Holder. What's the other one?
It's the only applicant.
He's the only applicant. Pardon me?
Yes.
Does it
I
say he doesn't live in the city?
The Building Board of Adjustments may have different requirements. Maylee, can you speak to that, or no?
I'd have to look at the advisory board ordinance.
If
but-
you want to pass that one real quick, let me pull up that board.
I don't know if that one's seeking a waiver, though. It just has the name.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
no
does
note
he not
next
live
to
in
it.
the city?
Yeah, where does it say?
No,
he does?
no, on his application, it has it
Like-
on South Military
Okay,
Trail.
because sometimes with the Building Board of Adjustments, they allow for people, positions, if
Qualifications.
they're a builder, then they, but let me just double check if we can pass that. Let me just pull up what the requirements are for that board.
Okay, we'll pass
I would,
that.
I want to table that.
Okay.
Okay.
Just table it all together?
Yes.
Okay, we do have a motion from Vice Mayor.
Second.
Well, we have everybody's seconding it, so we do have a motion to table. And we do have a second for the Building Board of Adjustments. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. That was tabled. We have 3 applications for the Senior Advisory Board. There's 1 regular position and 1 alternate. The first nomination goes to Vice Mayor Hay. Would you like to make your motion?
Is that Barbara Reedy?
No.
No.
It's
The Senior Advisory Board.
yeah, it's this Dennis, and I'm now operating with one eye, Dennis Mormel, Mark Stevenson, and Charlotte Novak.
Charlotte.
Vice Mayor Hay moved to approve Charlotte Novak as a regular member of the Senior Advisory Board, and Commissioner Turkin seconded the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously.
Great selection.
The next nomination goes to me, and I would like to approve Mark Stevenson as an alternate board member. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Commissioner Cruz made the second motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. There are no applicants for the following boards, but we encourage residents to apply if you are interested in the Education Youth Advisory Board and the Library Board. We are now moving on to consent agenda. If my colleagues want to pull any items from consent.
Community support funds.
Wait.
Sorry. 5B, Mayor.
It's not,
The Community
Missing on mine.
Support Fund? Did we do that?
not
Here,
mine.
do-
Sorry, that wasn't added. We added that at agenda
Yeah,
review.
it's
I
missing on
apologize, it
mine.
didn't make it.
My apologies too. So we'll move on to the community support funds.
Oh, do you want me to just talk about?
Yeah.
Okay, so my community support funds were for Connect to Greatness, which is a local not-for-profit who works with the youth in our community. And also, Chief Bruder was talking about it at our agenda review, but just for the public. And I'm hoping will give a little presentation at some point in the future once this kicks off. But we're implementing it's called a Knox Box program for our senior residents that gives the fire department access if you have this special key. So in case of an emergency, they can get to you without you having to crawl to the door. So I am contributing $500 to that fund, and this will assist the residents in the community that can't afford to buy the Knox box themselves. And so then, Mayor, you have 2 on here as well.
Yes, mine is the same program. And also my community funds were for the holiday baskets, right, mainly?
Yes.
Yes. So those were my.
And then Vice Mayor Hay has 2 as well.
Vice Mayor, you have 2?
Yes, the Boynton Beach Mental Health through the PDP, P2P, because they're the funding agency for that organization, and also 500 to Girl Scout.
Yes.
Make a motion to approve all.
Second.
We have a motion to approve. We have a second. All of those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. The motion passes unanimously. Now we will be moving on to the consent agenda. If my colleagues want to pull any items from consent, let's begin to my left with Commissioner Turkin.
Nope, I'm okay.
Commissioner Kelly?
No, thank you, Mayor.
Vice Mayor Hay?
No, I don't have any.
Commissioner Cruz?
Nope, thank you.
Great.
Motion to approve consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion to approve the consent agenda, and we have a second. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Okay. We will now move on to consent bids and purchases. If my colleagues would like to pull any items, let's begin to my right with Commissioner Cruz.
Yes, Mayor, I would like to pull 7B as in boy.
Okay. Vice Mayor Hay?
I would like to pull 7E as an egg, Ethel.
Commissioner Kelly?
Mayor, I think for the benefit of the public, I think since we have so many people in the audience, I think I wanted to pull 7F just to kind of get an idea of what that's going to be and how that's going to affect our tennis courts.
And Commissioner Turkin?
I have nothing, thank you.
Okay.
Motion to approve the rest of the agenda.
Second.
We have a motion to approve the rest of the agenda and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Okay. Commissioner Cruz, would you like to begin since you pulled B?
Yes, I just wanted a very brief review of what's happening here.
Can I have the slides for 7B?
7B as in boy. Yep,
Yes.
thank you. Perfect, thank you.
Thank you. So this is a project that what we've started doing is we've been doing condition assessments throughout the city for different areas, and condition assessment in Leisureville have shown us that there are a number of water main pipes that we need to replace. They are old. The material is really problematic, and so we are going to be replacing almost 3,000 linear feet of pipe in that area, and this map shows all the different areas that we are going to be replacing some of the pipe. We're also going to replace some hydrants, and this will really help us provide flows, better flows, integrity of the system, as well as fire flow needs, meeting for fire flow protection. The project is being done with a methodology called pipe bursting. What that does is basically it's a non-invasive way, so you're not doing an open cut off the road, so it doesn't impact the residents as much, less problematic for maintenance of traffic and so on and so forth, and the project moves faster. So this project's going to be starting in October and should just take us a couple of months to finish. So I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention. We are going to be spending close to $1 million, including contingency on this project.
Thank you, Dr. Calca. Just wanted to say I'm very proud to invest in infrastructure in our city and especially in Leisureville. Thank you so much for your presentation.
Thank you.
And next we have Commissioner Hay. You wanted
Do
to
we-
pull item E? We have a motion.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve Resolution R25-259 and a second. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to E.
Yeah, I know this is a piggyback agreement between the city and Waterfield, Florida staffing, but I just wanted to highlight the fact that we haven't forgotten about the crossing guards, and that I know it's been a challenge to get crossing guards in the past, but hopefully this will, enhance and draw some additional ones that we are trying to gain. So I don't know if staff want to comment any further on these crossing guards, but it's been a challenge to us, and I'm pleased to see that finally we're trying to do something for those crossing guards. So if you have any additional statements.
Sure. So this is a piggyback, like you said. I know that last year we did have some vacancies that were really related to the cost per hour. This contract rectifies that. It increases the pay for the crossing guards, which is why you're seeing a little bit of an increase in this particular item. So we're really excited and to ensure that our kids are safe in the city.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve Resolution R25-262. We have a second. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes 4-0.
0.
4-0. Mainly, Commissioner Turkin has left the dais.
And Commissioner Kelly, you wanted to have R25-263 pulled?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. With regard to 7F, I just wanted, Fabian, if you don't mind coming forward, and just kind of explaining, what this is and how it's going to benefit our tennis center. And, it's exciting. I feel like for the last probably year and a half, we've had so many issues at the tennis center, and we have done our best to really mitigate them and work with the residents. But I'm excited to see this happening, because I think it'll be really exciting for our residents at the tennis center. So
absolutely, we're very excited as well too. And if we can have the presentation put up, please. But before that, good evening. Ms. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, staff, and members of the public. I have a short presentation here to talk about the proposed lease agreement between the City of Boynton Beach and FM Tennis. All right. So a bit of an overview. I'm going to talk about some of the scopes of service, some of the key terms directly from the contract. So you'll see some items pulled directly from there in the sections that they're located, as well as what the next steps will be going forward once they take over the facility potentially here. So first, the vision and the idea behind this is the lessee will oversee daily operations, management, programming, and maintenance of the facility. The city will maintain overseeing the landscaping for the property, but all else as it pertains to the maintenance of the property will be done through FM Tennis. This agreement is up to 9 years, the initial term being 5 years, and there's a possibility for two-year renewals following that. Hours of operation. This is something that we're still in discussion with FM Tennis regarding that, so we'll work in lockstep with them to determine what is best as it regards to programming, the season and time of year, peak hours, and the community needs and requests in general. But per the terms of the agreement, the facility will be open a minimum of 70 hours a week. Public access, so the operator should ensure that the center is reasonably accessible to all members of the public, including city residents and non-residents without discrimination. Operator should establish and maintain a schedule of user fees that provides preferential rates for city residents, generally how we currently operate right now, so we'll have a similar fee structure moving forward with them. The fee schedule should be subject to approval by the city commission on an annual basis. So similar to us bringing our fee schedules each year, this will be part of that package coming to you guys. There's been no request yet from the lessees for any adjustments to the fees. So we plan to move forward with the current fees that were just approved by this body in January. And if there's anything proposed, it'll be reviewed by the department and then brought before the commission if it's something that we look to propose for adjustments. Community programming, the operator should develop and implement community programs designed to promote tennis and pickleball in the community, including but not limited to youth programs and clinics, programs for seniors, programs with persons with disabilities, school partnerships, and at least 4 free or reduced cost community events per year. These community programs should be detailed in an annual community benefits plan that will be submitted to the city, which will be determined by the department director or designee for approval before they're implemented at the facility. So the financials. The base rent of the first initial year will be $6,000 per month for the first year, and then $7,000 per month in the successive years following. There will be an initial 6-month grace period just so they can get their equipment, their staffing in order, and really build their brand and all of the programming out at the facility. And then that's when this new base rent will be triggered and begin. Revenue share is part of this project as well too, so there'll be a 3% revenue share based off of the gross revenue brought in by these individuals. Minimum annual guarantee. So there are minimums guaranteed, so depending on the success of this organization, we do have some baseline guarantees, starting with $32,000 in the initial year and $96,000 years after that. So if the organization doesn't meet that threshold based off of the 3%, these are still minimum guarantees that they're guaranteeing to the city on top of the base rent. The operator is also planning on making capital investments into the facility, no less than $250,000, and this will be used for things for converting some of the courts. We know we got a lot of requests for additional pickleball courts out there, so that's something that's included, as well as new windscreens with the city branding on it to give some kind of new life to the facility and some new color to the facility. Some of the new awnings, outdoor furniture, and improvements to the pro shop. So next steps, the city has begun removal of city-owned equipment from the facility and will be moving them to other facilities around the city that have need for these equipment, such as ice machines and desks and supplies that we have at the facility there. FM has expressed interest in purchasing some of the maintenance equipment, so we're in discussions on working things of that nature out. Staff that are assigned to that facility will be reassigned There's 5 staff members assigned to this facility, 3 full-time and 2 part-time. The supervisor position will be shifted into more of an athletic role. The 1 maintenance worker will be retained by Recreation and Parks to help with recreation facility maintenance, and the other one will be reclassified as an outreach coordinator, which is a position we have transitioning over currently to help with the marketing aspect of the department. 1 part-timer will be shifting over to the senior center to assist with reception work as well as programming. And the other part-timer will be assisting with front desk operations, so working with Jay out front at City Hall, assisting with coverage at the front desk. The city will work in conjunction with FM Tennis in marketing for any major operational changes. There may be some new software coming on board with this new organization come in, as well as the hours of operation. So with any changes, we'll make sure to get that marketed on all of our social medias, as well as all of the marquees around the city and so on. And as well as they have a large social media platform as well too, so we'll be able to utilize that as well. FM Tennis plans to begin leasing and operating in October, but if any case there is some kind of delay based off of staffing or anything of the such equipment, the city is prepared to operate the facility longer until we can have a clean transition to this new organization taking over. And that is it. Any questions?
Thank you, Fabian. How does this, if at all, or what is the plan moving forward as far as fees for the residents to utilize the facilities? So I know we've spoken off the off of the record on this, but I just for the will of the public, what do we have in place to make sure that they don't come in, just automatically raise all the rates, and then we're sitting here looking like, oh, sorry.
Yes. No, excellent question. And that's a big part of the reason why we included that term inside of this agreement, to make sure that it'll be to our discretion at all points. And of course, comes before this body before any fees are adjusted. As mentioned before, we plan on keeping all fees the same rates that they are currently. It's very important to make sure that all of our fees are affordable out at the tennis center, and it's open to everybody, including some of those free programs that we'll be offering to introduce new people to tennis.
Great. I'm excited about it.
Yes, absolutely.
I guess that was my only concern and question, was really how it was going to affect the residents. So thank you for the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'm very excited about this because when I came on, I got a lot of heat about the tennis
Yes.
center. I didn't know what was going on over there, so
Yes. Now, there's
very happy
some
to see we're
excellent-
moving in the right direction with
Yes.
this. Thank you for all your hard work
You're
putting
welcome.
it together.
Thank you.
That being said, do I have a motion to approve
Motion to approve.
R25-263? We have a motion from Commissioner Kelly, and we have a second from Vice Mayor Hay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Okay, we have 11 public hearing items. Public comment will be permitted on each item. Items 8C, D, E, F, H, I, J, and K are quasi-judicial, and I will now turn to the clerk to swear in anyone here who chooses to speak on those items. So if you do want to speak on any of the items I just listed, please come down so you can be sworn in.
Anyone who is here to speak on
stand up.
items 8A, C, D, E, F, H, I, J, and K, please stand up and raise your right hand.
And let me just clarify, if anyone's going to make public comment to speak on this and wants it to be considered, you're not making public comment,
Well,
but
I've just got a question, because we already commented, so I don't know if
You
this
can
is
comment again.
repetitive. We just wanted the ability to comment again when the presentation is made.
then you want to
You
be
will.
sworn in.
Yeah, so,
So stand up.
Raise your right hand.
Thank you.
yes, anybody speaking, and even if you spoke before, now's the time. Okay,
You
Maylee?
swear or affirm that the evidence that you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes? Thank you.
Thank
may
you
have a
very
seat.
much. I will turn to the clerk to read 8A into the record. This is the first reading, and staff, you can begin your presentation.
Proposed ordinance number 25-023, first reading, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, amending Part 3, Land Development Regulations, Chapter 1, General Administration, Article 2, Definitions, and amending Chapter 3, Zoning, Article 4, Use Regulations, Section 3, Use Regulations, to allow accessory residential agricultural uses in R1AAB on properties larger than 0.90 acres, 0.90 acres, providing for codification, providing for severability, providing for conflicts, and providing for an effective date.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, and public. My name is Amanda Radigan. I'm the Planning and Development Director here for the city. This item is an amendment to the city's land development regulations. It is done roughly in association with an annexation that we will be hearing later today. This amendment does two things. It establishes a definition for the use residential agriculture, and then it regulates that use. So the amendment is defining agriculture residential as limited agricultural purposes that are accessory to a primary residential use on a property. That would include things like cultivation of fruits, vegetables, herbs, and flowers. What it does not include is any intense farming, keeping of livestock, or anything that requires commercial infrastructure, causes odor, noise, or traffic. This will be permitted on parcels within R1 AAB. The parcel would have to be at least 0.9 acres and be on an arterial or collector road. Staff is recommending approval of this amendment, and I am available for questions.
Mayor,
Any comments or questions from the commission?
I just have one question. Amanda, the reason for this and the one property that this, I know you have spoken to that property owner. I just wanted to make sure that this is to retain their property rights. And so I just wanted to make sure that that was on the record and that they're aware that we're proposing making these changes.
That is correct. This was done in conjunction with the annexation proposal that will be heard in a bit. There is one property that currently has residential agricultural zoning, which our code was silent to or didn't allow. So this amendment retains their current uses that are currently permitted on their property.
Great, thank you.
If there's no other comments from the commission, we will take public comment on this at this time. Okay. No questions from the commission? If there's
Motion
nothing-
to approve.
Good.
Second?
We have a motion to approve ordinance number 25-023, and we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
No,
Aye.
I'm
Oh.
sorry, roll call vote, please.
Oh, roll call
Thank
vote,
you.
okay.
Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
Commissioner Turkin? Commissioner Cruz? Vice Mayor Hay?
Yes.
Mayor Shelton?
Yes.
And a roll call vote, the motion passed unanimously.
Thank you.
Mayor, just real quick, we are trying to work, there's an issue with the air. So they're trying to work on it right now. It's working in the back, it's just not working up here, so I got staff working on it.
Of course.
I usually run hot, but I'm
Yeah.
running really hot.
Yes, I see that, so I don't know
Normally
if
I'm
staff's trying to
cold
tell
and
us
I'm burning
something.
up.
Yes, yeah, we're working on it, so just wanted to let you know.
I was like, is it hot in here, or is
Lucky.
it just me? Okay.
No, it is not just you. It's hot.
Okay, so we've done our roll call. The next 5 items are related to Bamboo Lane, so they will be heard together. However, there will be a public hearing on each of these items separately. I will turn to the clerk to read 8B through F into the record. If each commissioner can make any disclosures at this time regarding items 8C, 8D, 8E, and 8F. I'll go first.
We need to do our disclosures.
Okay.
If you do have specific disclosures pursuant to an item, then you need, let's do them, you're going to say with regard to 8C, and then do them, and then 8D, and do them, but all at one time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Regarding items 8C, 8D, 8E, and 8F, I have not had any ex parte communication. I have not received written communication. I have not conducted investigation. I have not made a site visit, and I have not received expert opinions. I request that these disclosures and all written communications be made a part of the record. This is the first reading as well, so everybody can keep going. Commissioner Kelly?
Turkin?
Oh, okay.
As to this matter, I have not received any communications outside of the public comment that I heard earlier today. I have not received any written communications. I have not conducted investigation. I've not made a site visit. I have not received expert opinions outside of staff. I respect that these disclosures and all written communications be made part of the record.
Thank you, Mayor. As it pertains to 8B, 8C, 8D, 8E, and 8F, is that where I'm going? To F? Yes. As to these matters, I have not had any ex parte communications. I have not received written communications. I have not conducted an investigation. I have not made a site visit other than walking by one of these properties every day, and I have not received expert opinions. I request that these disclosures and all written communications be made part of the record. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Hay?
As of this matter, I have not.
Is your mic on?
As of this matter, I have not had expert communication. I have not received written communication. I have not conducted an investigation. I have not made a site visit. I have not received expert opinions. I request that these disclosures and all written communication be part of the record.
Okay, do we have to wait for Commissioner Cruz, or can we keep moving?
When she returns, we'll do her disclosures, but we need the clerk to read all of the items into the record before we begin the presentation.
Okay.
Okay. Bear with me. Okay. 8B is proposed ordinance number 25-019, first reading, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, voluntarily annexing approximately 4.61 acres of unincorporated territory into the corporate limits of the city pursuant to Section 171.044 Florida statutes, providing for annexation of the property described herein, providing for publication of notice of the proposed annexation, directing the city clerk to record this ordinance with the clerk of the circuit court, with the chief administrative officer of Palm Beach County, and with the Department of State, providing for a business impact estimate, providing for codification, conflict, severability, and an effective date. 8C, proposed ordinance number 25-024, first reading an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, amending ordinance number 89-38 by amending the future land use map of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, for a parcel of real property by changing the future land use classification from Palm Beach County's commercial high with an underlying MR5 to City of Boynton Beach's low retail commercial, declaring the proposed amendment to the future land use map to be consistent with all other elements of the comprehensive plan of the city, providing for severability, conflicts, and providing for an effective date. D is proposed ordinance number 25-025, first reading ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, in association with the Bamboo Lane annexation, amending ordinance number 02-013 to rezone a parcel of real property generally located east of the North Federal Highway, approximately 570 feet south of the intersection of Old Dixie Highway and North Federal Highway, from Palm Beach County's General Commercial to City of Boynton Beach's Community Commercial District, declaring the proposed amendment to be consistent with the comprehensive plan of the city, providing for severability, conflicts, and providing for an effective date. E is proposed ordinance number 25-026, first reading ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, amending ordinance number 89-38, and by amending the future land use map of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, for a parcel of real property by changing the future land use classification from Palm Beach County's medium residential with a maximum density of 5 dwelling units per acre to City of Boynton Beach's low-density residential, declaring the proposed amendment to the future land use map to be consistent with all other elements of the comprehensive plan of the city, providing for severability, conflicts, and providing for an effective date. The next one also. It's
Go
also
to F.
Okay. 8F, proposed ordinance number 25-027, first reading ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, and in association with Bamboo Lane annexation, amending ordinance number 02-013 to rezone a parcel of real property generally located east of North Federal Highway, approximately 570 feet south of the intersection of Old Dixie Highway and North Federal Highway, from Palm Beach County's multi-family residential to City of Boynton Beach's two-family residential district, declaring the proposed amendment to be consistent with the comprehensive plan of the city, providing for severability, conflicts, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. If we can have Commissioner Cruz, if you wouldn't mind reading your disclosures with regard to 8C, D, E, and F at this time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. As to this matter, I have not had ex parte communications. I have not received written communications. I have not conducted an investigation. I have not made a site visit. I have not received expert opinions other than our city staff. I request that these disclosures and all written communications be made part of the record.
Okay, staff, you ready to begin your presentation?
Good evening again. Amanda Radigan, Planning and Development Director for the city. As was just read into the record, this presentation covers 5 different requests: 1 annexation, 2 future land use amendments, and 2 rezonings, all within the Bamboo Lane area. The Bamboo Lane area is located on the southeast side of the city. It is directly off of Federal Highway. It's approximately 4.61 acres and contains about 15 properties. It is currently contiguous to the city and accounts for about $10 million worth of taxable value. Some background for our annexation. All the properties within this area are currently within the city's utility service area and are currently being serviced with some municipal services. As a condition of that service, all the property owners are required to enter into a formal agreement with the city. I'm going to read the exact title of the agreement for the record. It is a summary of the agreement for water and wastewater services outside of city limits, covenants for annexation, and irrevocable special power of attorney. This allows the annexation to be processed as a voluntary annexation. It's important to note that there are no changes of uses proposed within this either. This agreement does grant the city the authority to initiate this voluntarily, which is the proposal which is in front of you. And I just want to go over some of the dates just for the record of notices that have been sent out. On July 28th, we sent the initial notice to the owners, notifying them of the annexation. On August 20th, we sent the notice of the ordinance. On August 31st and September 7th, we published legal ads both in the paper and online. And then on September 8th, a public notice was sent out to properties within 400 feet of this area. So this is a very important slide. I will give my card out to anyone who wants it, and I can email you this slide. This is a comparison of both services and taxes. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this slide for the benefit of the public. On your left, what you see is a comparison of millage rates within the city and within the county. So the first column you're looking at are millage rates that you would be charged within the city. On the next column, the millage rates within the county. Everything that has both filled out is exactly the same. So you can see that people within the city of Boynton Beach do have an added tax, which is the Boynton Beach operating tax of the millage rate at 7.75. However, 3 of what you are currently being charged would fall off your tax roll. That includes the county fire rescue, library operating, and library debt. The rest of the taxes remain the same. If you go down further on that same chart, down to the non-ad valorem assessments, you'll see that the Lake Roy Drainage District does remain the same. Your solid waste authority would actually change. Currently, if you're in the county, you're paying $398. Once in the city, it would be $194. You would have an added Boynton Beach fire assessment. On the right, you'll see a comparison of services. The first line talks about our fire departments. Our fire department boasts one of the best response rates in the state at a response rate of 4 minutes and 20 seconds. The second line is Boynton Beach Police. The 2.05 represents the number of officers per 1,000 residents. The next line is also about our police services. This is per square mile. So our city has 10.52 officers per square mile of the city. The next 2 line items are utility services. Everyone within this area already has our water service, and all but 1 parcel within this area has sewer service. Commissioner Cruz, this relates to your question from a gender review. There's currently 1 parcel within this area that is currently on septic. The rest of the items have to deal with trash pickup, and they would essentially remain the same, but instead of being serviced by the county, you would be serviced by Boynton Beach. So it's comparable garbage pickup, recycle pickup, and bulk and vegetable pickup. Vegetation, not vegetable. It is a lot of vegetables. The other thing that I could note when it comes to your utility service, if you are outside of the city, you are currently paying a 25% surcharge for your water services. Once within the city, your utility service actually goes down 25%. So now the land use and zoning. I'm gonna go through this information just in map form because I think it's a little bit easier to understand. This is the future land use map when it comes to the commercial parcels. On your left, you'll see the designation within the county. The area in blue is designated currently as CH5. That is their commercial high for the county. And is proposed to go to the local designation, the city comparable local designation of local retail commercial. The corresponding land use would be, the existing is CG, the county's general commercial, to the city's C3, the city's community commercial zoning designation. The residential parcels, which lay behind the commercial ones within the county, are MR5. This includes 5 units per acre. The city designation is low-density residential, which accounts for 7.5 units per acre. The corresponding zoning for those land uses would be, in the county, it was RM, multifamily, and within the city is R2, single and 2-family residential, maximum 7.5 units per acre. Staff has reviewed and is recommending approval on all 5 items. I am available for questions.
Is there a tax comparison? Did you do a tax
Yes.
comparison? That was the first one, okay, just wanted to make sure.
That was the first one. We did it in terms of millage rate. I'm going to put that back on the screen if anyone wants to take a picture of this. A very easy way to do the calculation, because millage rates are not percents, and that is how I usually do this calculation, and it's always wrong the first time. If you want to see what your taxes would be, you would take your taxable value and multiply that. You move the decimal point 3 spaces. So for example, for Boynton Beach operating, you would do your taxable value times 0.00775. And that will give you your operating millage rate tax. And that calculation works for all of them.
Thank you. Are there any other questions?
Yes,
Let's start with Vice Mayor.
what does this do for the population in terms of head count to the city of Boynton?
There are about 15 units, 15 parcels. Many of them are duplexes. I don't have an immediate head count, though, for this specific area, just because it's such a small area and the census tracts are much larger.
Okay.
Okay. Commissioner Tucker.
Thank you, Mayor. I just kind of want to toot our horn a little bit, that when you looked at the officers per residence 3.5 years ago, it was, I think, roughly 1.6, maybe even less than that. And now we're above 2, which is the national standard, I think, given by the FBI, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that. However, I think that is important to identify, because this body made it their priority to ensure the public safety of our residents. And, I just think we should really be mindful and proud of ourselves to see that number. Because even though, 1.6, 2.5, that's not a huge jump in its own, but when you look at that for 80,000 plus residents, that is a very significant change from an addition of, I believe, 35 to 40 police officers within a 16 square mile. Or for the police department, managing 16 square miles. So, I think that's a great uptick from where we were, over 3 years ago. And then for clarification, there's the library operating and debt tax. For clarification, those residents would no longer have to pay that.
Exactly. Currently, if you are just a county resident, that is a debt that you are currently paying. Once annexed into the city, those three items do fall off.
So essentially, this millage rate is lower, the cost is lower for Boynton residents comparatively to the county. If you look at, there's a separate millage for fire rescue, which is 3.45. That brings it, what, 7.9-ish if you round up. So 7.75 still lower. And you don't have to pay the library debt. Then from what I'm seeing in this chart, everything is the same. Then you go to the non-ad valorem assessments. You look at the fire assessment, which I have my opinions on, and then the solid waste of Palm Beach County within Boynton Beach. However, they would no longer pay that $398, and then the Lake Worth Drainage District ultimately is the same. So just to round this all together, it seems that the millage rate for a homesteaded property is going to be lower if we were to move forward with this than comparatively to the county.
When we've done the calculations, it obviously depends on if you're homesteaded,
Right.
what exemptions you have, and your taxable value, but we have found them to come very close to even. When you accumulate all the millage that you will not be paying to the county, that would be substituted for your city millage operating, and then the difference within the non-ad valorem assessments. They're comparable.
Overall, it looks like a win-win, especially when you look at the police officers per square mile. I mean, that's huge. And since safety is one of our big-ticket items in all areas. Very good.
I mean, real quick, Mayor. Amanda, it was mentioned during public comment, there was some concern of somebody losing their homestead exemption. Can you just explain for the public, how that would work, how it does not, you don't lose your homestead exemption, it all follows you? And then also touch on, we do have an added benefit to some of our residents, so I just wanted to touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, so I will say I'm not the property tax appraisers, but I have reviewed this quite a bit. Your homestead exemptions, any exemptions that you have currently with the county that you pay in the taxes transfer over. None of that is changed at all in this process. Our services, fire, police, utilities you're already getting, and trash are ready to literally flip the switch on the day that this is approved. Now, correcting or updating the tax bill does take about a year. So the goal is to get it corrected by next cycle for it to be correct. However, in discussing this with all of our services, we are ready to start on day one. And we will continue to work with the partners at the county who are currently servicing to talk about transition. But our plan is, if anything, you are going to get double the service just because we are ready to start, and there will be no gaps in service.
Thank you.
Oh, Commissioner Cruz? Do you have
Yes,
something?
thank you. Following up on the agenda review question, which is how many of the homes are in septic? Wanted to ask.
So I did talk to utilities. All of the areas, all of the properties except one within this area is on city sewer. There is one that is currently on septic. It is my understanding that our utilities department has had conversations with those property owners that span back the last 5 years. That property currently has 2 septic tanks on the property. One that was done fairly recently. It would be costly to transition that property to sewer. However, in talking to the utilities department, they're willing to continue working with the property owner to see how they can make that happen.
Yeah, I would like to ask for us to have a plan in place, not just for this specific property, but for all annexation going forward. Because if, I see the benefit, right? But I also understand that there's a significant cost to changing from septic to sewage. Is it about a, what is it, a $3,000 charge?
It varies. It depends on where the services are. But I do want to clarify that all of these parcels are currently within the utility service area, and that's why they have already been working with our utilities departments on upgrades to their property, if desired. So this isn't necessarily a change when it comes specifically to annexation. I did talk to Dr. Calcutt. They're continuing to gather information across not just annexation areas, but across the city of parcels that are currently on septic for some sort of a transition plan over time.
Good evening again. Poonam Calcutt, Utilities Director. Yes, just like Amanda said, if somebody is already in our sewer area, then, and if they're on septic and we can provide sewer to them, then we are already having that conversation. We understand it's an expensive proposition and it's not easy, so we try to work with them as much as possible to try and figure out how best can we move forward. So we don't just go in and say, you got to just switch right away. We've got to
Right.
look at that. The problem we get into is that private properties, it's hard for them to get any kind of grants or anything that
That
we
was my
can
next
put
question,
in.
yeah.
We can't, that's just not something that you can get grant money for or loans and other things like that. It generally is a personal loan. So what usually we as utilities do is we bring the sewer really close to where they can connect, and then we try to figure out a way that we can work with them. Sometimes when we are doing some conversions, then we can have the contractor work with them so they would have minimal costs. So we'll continue doing it that way, but all of these properties that right now we are annexing, most of those areas are under sewer already for the utilities. So that conversation's already ongoing.
Thank you, Dr. Calcutt. And then thinking about the cost of going from septic to sewer, I'm going to assume there has to be a lift station obviously nearby because the other ones are on sewer. Okay. Is there any way that we can make a plan as we start annexing to really find a way to get these homes out of septic, because it's outdated. It's no longer really acceptable for homes to be in that situation, especially we're annexing them. So I really would love for us to have a plan, like an actual plan of action of how we're gonna move forward, and a time frame, and really thinking, even though I hear you with regard to the grants and the being a private property, can we do some research to find out if there's an opportunity to help neighborhoods that are, currently still on septic that we could support in any way, and maybe finding agile ways to do that?
Yeah, we're committed to doing that. State has been really also asking. South Florida Water Management District, I just had a conversation with somebody at the county's utility director, that one of the district's representative was asking them about some of the barrier islands that are still on septic. So we will be having those conversations. It's just not an easy way, because somebody has to spend the money to do this. The utility can bring the sewer close to the property line, and then we've got to look at how best can we make that connection. I know Miami-Dade has a huge problem with a lot of septic areas on septic, and they're trying to figure out ways. So there has been conversation throughout the state about how best to go about it, especially in the center of the state. There are springs where, again, these septics can be very problematic. Barrier islands, environmentally, that can be a problematic thing. The issue is that people continue to update and upgrade their septic. So if you've just done that and you spend money doing
Right,
that,
that makes
then you
sense.
don't want to be spending money to
again.
connect it to sewer. So trying to really get that, but we are committed to working with all our
Thank you.
customers.
And if I would love to hear some feedback maybe after the meeting of maybe ideas of opportunities, I'll do some research too, but I would love to hear, any opportunities we might have for other funding, even any way that we can help these residents. 'Cause I know it's thousands and thousands of dollars to get that done.
Right, and we actually ended up doing that with Hypoluxo. City of Hypoluxo had gotten a grant, an appropriations grant, and they wanted certain areas changed, and there were a couple of residents also. So we were able to reduce their cost by doing it that way, working with them, so we'll continue doing that and figure out ways. It's harder when it's only one property, but we'll figure out some things.
Thank you.
Any other comments before we go to public comment? Anyone want to speak on item B? Please come down now. Each person has 3 minutes.
Hi,
And it's
this
not
is
Q&A,
Kathy
so
Gross
then-
again.
Yeah, and just remember, it's not
823 Palmer Road.
questions.
I'm the subject of the 2 septic tanks on the property. It is a huge expense for me. Your main sewer is on the corner of my property, so everyone down the street, all the new construction, the million-dollar properties that have forced me to go city water, public sewer, because of all the money that's poured into Boynton Beach systems. I've paid all the impact fees in advance, but it is, I'm in the process of getting more bids for connection, and it's like $35,000 in addition to the $7,000 or so I've already spent. It's a big imposition for someone like me who paid $256,000 for their property 30 years ago, and the tax basis is going to go up. The city water that I'm paying, which I was on well, and prior to this and all the new construction, broke my well line, so I had to go with city water. So I have not been offered any assistance in terms of help in connecting to, collapsing my septics and connecting to the septic system. And I have given permission for the city of Boynton Beach to access my property for all the other residents down the street to go across my driveway and get into, my property with your septic main connection. So I feel at a real disadvantage and very financially distressed over the entire thing. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else want to comment on 8B?
Hi, Steve Gallagher on Bamboo Lane, and I appreciate the presentation. I am still opposed to it. I will say this, even though we have all signed the voluntary, if you want to call it that, annexation papers, those were all forcefully, we were forced to sign those papers. Back when Estancia was built and the city of Boynton allowed Estancia to go in and destroy where all of our wells were, in exchange, we were given the city water. So it's not something that we voluntarily came and asked for. We were forced to sign it in order to have water. And then once again, when they ran the sewer lines down the road, which we never asked for, we were forced not only to pay for the infrastructure costs, which we've already paid in full, but we were forced to sign, again, voluntary annexation papers. And, I was one of the ones that, was back and forth with the city, and I didn't want to sign it again. And they actually threatened to cut off my water if I didn't sign the papers. So, the way the whole thing has come about has not really been fair to the homeowners to begin with. In addition to that, the sewer system is a very poorly engineered system. And the reason for that is we're all downhill from the sewer line, which means that everybody has to have a separate holding tank, a grinder, all sorts of extra plumbing. And in the event that the power goes off, everything backs up. So it's not a normal sewer system like all of you probably have, where you flush your toilet and everything goes away. So, it's a very poor system. The people that hooked up on Palmer Road already have had massive problems with it, which I'm sure if any of you have done the research are aware that the city had to go back in, spend lots of money and redo that entire street. That hasn't been done over on Bamboo Lane. You know, I know my one neighbor that's hooked up into it has had a lot of problems. So it's just, you know, again, you know, we didn't ask for it. It's not what we bought into. Don't really want it. Don't see any real advantages. And, you know, I just want to reiterate my opposition to the whole annexation of that area. I don't, you know, I don't see enough of benefit for us. Obviously, for the city, it's tax dollars, but you need to think about the residents that live there and, you know, what we're forced to, you know, change our lifestyle from what we bought into. So I'd like you to consider that.
Hello again, Suzanne Calwera. Is there going to be a separate presentation regarding Palmyra? Okay. All right, and just a general question, which would probably cover whoever's here for annexation, is why is this being considered, to his point, a voluntary annexation versus involuntary? If someone could explain that, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
Mario Di Stephanis, 807 Palmer Road. What is the purpose of this? Is this simply to get you guys more money? What is the purpose of this? You want your maps to be a little neater? I'm asking a question. Does anybody have an answer?
We don't answer, sir.
I'm sorry. I'm not used to this. Okay. And then you're saying, you throw these statistics out. We're going to have more police coverage? Or more fire? Are you going to build a firehouse closer to us? How does this change things? One bit from our security for the police or the firemen. They're still come. I've called the firemen before. They're just down the road. So why are we even using these things to justify apparently a money grab? And who, with the legal questions, do they get directed to? Thank you.
Any other public comment on item B? Okay. If nothing else, may we have a motion to approve proposed ordinance number 25-09 on the first reading? Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion to approve ordinance 25-019, and we do have a second. All of those in favor say aye. Or is it roll call?
Roll call.
Roll call, sorry.
Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
Commissioner Turkin? Yes. Commissioner Cruz?
Yes.
Commissioner, Vice Mayor Hay?
Yes.
Mayor Shelton?
Yes.
And roll call vote, the motion passed unanimously.
So we are now moving on to C. Do we just go right into the public comment? Okay, if anybody has any public comment now on item 8C, please come down. No public comment on 8C. Any questions from the commission? Oh, come on down.
Is that specifically the zoning portion of your annexation?
Yes.
Yes.
That would be a question for me. You were mentioning something about.
So I can clarify, 8C is specific to the commercial future land use.
Oh, commercial,
I'll
not
let
the
you know,
residential.
I know which one you're here for. I'll let you know which
Okay.
one is that.
Okay, good.
If we can put the presentation back up while we go through them, I can at least show which side we're voting on.
That helps.
Perfect.
Is there any other questions from the commission on 8C?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve from Commissioner Kelly. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second from Vice Mayor Hay. All of those in favor to approve ordinance number
No.
25. Oh, roll call. I keep forgetting it's roll call.
Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
Commissioner Turkin?
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Hay?
Yes.
Mayor Shelton?
Yes.
And roll call vote, the motion passed unanimously.
Okay, I'll get it right by D.
IT, can you have the presentation brought back up?
And 8D is the zoning for the commercial component.
If anyone would like to public comment on D, the zoning component, please come down.
For just the commercial.
For
Just the commercial.
Okay, for just the commercial. And if there is no comment or questions from the commission, is there a motion to approve proposed ordinance number 25-025?
Second.
Okay, Vice Mayor Hay made the first motion, Commissioner Turkin made the second. All those in favor to approve, roll call.
Commissioner Kelly.
Yes.
Commissioner Turkin. Commissioner Cruz.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Hay.
Yes.
Mayor Shelton.
Yes.
And roll call vote, the motion passing unanimously.
Okay, we are moving on to E. If anyone would like to public comment, now is the time to come down on 8E.
And 8E is for the future land use of the residential. This is going from the medium county of 5 units an acre to the city's low-density residential, 7 units an acre.
That one would affect me. I, at one point, when I first bought the property, had a site plan from an architect to build 3 beautiful houses on the lot, demolishing my existing house. And now it appears that that would not be a possibility under the new zoning. Is that correct?
So within the land use, you're actually getting additional units. Your current land use is capped at 5 units per acre. This is 7.5 units per acre.
So I have 0.8 of an acre, so would that mean that I could build up to?
You multiply whatever acres you have times 5, or whatever acres you have times 7.5.
So then it would probably affect me in a more positive way, possibly?
Yes,
Yes.
for the land use.
Okay, so I had the impression that it was just strictly 2-family.
We will talk again during zoning.
Okay. All right.
Can you state your name for the record, please? Ma'am? Can you state your name for the
name.
record
Oh,
again?
Kathy Gross, 823 Palmer Road.
Thank you, Kathy. Any other questions or comments from the commission? If not, do we have a motion to approve ordinance number 25-026 on
So
first
moved.
reading?
Second.
We have a first, do we have a second? Please do roll call.
Commissioner Kelly.
Yes.
Commissioner Turkin.
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Hay.
Yes.
Mayor Shelton.
Yes.
And a roll call vote, the motion passing unanimously.
Okay, moving on to 8F. If anyone would like to speak on 8F, please step down to the podium.
8F is specific to the zoning for the residential components, yes. This goes, again, to your current residential, I'm sorry, IT, if you could bring back the presentation. Your current, no, you can say, sorry. This is, the current zoning, I believe, is 5 units an acre, and your new zoning does go to duplex. Now, the difference here would be that duplexes do have different size components for your lot. So it's a little bit more of a complex question because it depends exactly how big and the configuration of your lot is. What I would suggest is between this reading and second reading, you can contact me. I gave you my card and we can sit down and look at it together. If there are modifications that need to be done to the zoning code, we can absolutely integrate those if it is not giving you the same amount of units within your current lot. The goal is to keep you the same.
Appreciate that, and we'll be in touch.
Okay.
Thank you.
There's nothing else. Do we have a motion to approve proposed ordinance number 25-027 on first reading?
So move.
Second.
We have a first from Commissioner Turkin, a second from Vice Mayor Hay. Please, can we do roll call?
Commissioner Kelly.
Yes.
Commissioner Turkin.
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Hay.
Yes.
Mayor Shelton.
Yes.
And a roll call vote, the motion passing unanimously.
Okay, and these next 5 items are all related to Palmyra, so they will be heard together. However, there will be a public hearing on each of these items separately. I'll turn to the clerk to read 8G through K into the record. And if each commissioner can please make any disclosures at this time regarding the quasi-judicial.
Let's read the items into the record real quick,
Okay.
and then we'll do the disclosures.
Cool.
Proposed ordinance number 25-020, first reading, an ordinance of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, voluntarily annexing approximately 27.97 acres of the unincorporated territory into the corporate limits of the city pursuant to Section 171.044 Florida statute, providing for the annexation of the property described herein, providing for publication of notice of the proposed annexation, Directing the city clerk to record this ordinance with the clerk of the circuit court, with the chief administrative officer in Palm Beach County, and with the Department of State, providing a business impact estimate, providing for codification, conflict severability, and an effective date. H is proposed ordinance number 25-028, first reading, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, amending ordinance number 89-38 by amending the future land use map of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida for an approximately 27.04 acre parcel of real property by changing the future land use classification from Palm Beach County's medium residential with a medium density of 5 dwelling units per acre. It's the City of Boynton Beach's low-density residential, declaring the proposed amendment to the future land use map to be consistent with all other elements of the comprehensive plan of the city, providing for severability, conflicts, and providing for an effective date. I is proposed ordinance number 25-029, first reading ordinance of the City of Commission of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, in association with the Bamboo Lane annexation. Amending ordinance number 02-013 to rezone a parcel of real property generally located east of North Federal Highway, approximately 570 feet south of intersection of Old 660 Highway and North Federal Highway from Palm Beach County's multifamily residential. Is this correct? That's not correct. Hold on.
Right.
Hold on, let me get I.
Which one is it? Yes, it's wrong. That's what she was just saying.
Okay, I'm going to read the shorter one. A first reading Palmera.
Well, I have all of it.
No, I don't.
Here, I have it. Here.
Okay. Ordinance number 25-029, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida. Oh, it still says Bamboo Lane. Is it still Bamboo Lane? I'm going to go ahead and skip that one for the moment and come back to that one.
Go into J.
J is proposed ordinance number 25-030, first reading, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, amending ordinance number 89-38 by amending the future land use map of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida for an approximately 9.93 acre parcel of real property by changing the future land use classification from Palm Beach County's medium residential with a maximum density of 5 dwelling units per acre to the City of Boynton Beach's low-density residential, declaring the proposed amendment to the future land use map to be consistent with all other elements of the comprehensive plan of the city, providing for severability, conflicts, and providing for an effective date. And K is proposed ordinance number 25-031, first reading, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, in association with the Palmera annexation, amending ordinance number 02-013 to rezone an approximately 0.93 acre parcel of real property from the Palm Beach County's agricultural residential to City of Boynton Beach's single-family residential district, declaring the proposed amendment to be consistent with the comprehensive plan of the city, providing for severability, conflicts, and providing for an effective date.
Is that all of them except for I?
Yes.
If the commission would like to do their disclosures, we've had a bit of a glitch with I. We're making sure we pull up the right one to read into the record.
Would you mind to
I'll go ahead and
start?
start, thank you. As to this matter, I have not had ex parte communications. I have not received written communications. I have not conducted an investigation. I have not made a site visit. I have not received expert opinions other than staff. I request that these disclosures and all written communications be made part of the record.
As of this matter, I have not had ex parte communication. I have not received written communication. I have not conducted an investigation. I have not made a site visit. I have not received expert opinion. I request that these disclosures and other written communication be made part of the record.
Regarding items 8H, 8I, 8J, and 8K, I have not had any ex parte communication. I have not received written communication. I have not conducted an investigation. I have not made a site visit. I have not received expert opinions. I request that these disclosures or all written communications be made as part of the record.
As to these matters, 8G, H, I, J, and K, I have not had ex parte communications. I have not received written communications. I have not conducted an investigation. I have not made a site visit. I have not received expert opinions. I request that these disclosures and all written communications be made part of the record.
As to this matter, I have not had ex parte communications outside the public comment that was given earlier this evening. I have not received any written communications. I have not conducted an investigation. I have not made a site visit. I have not received expert opinions outside staff. I request that these disclosures and all written communications be made part of the record.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and read the other ordinance for I. An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, in association with the Palmyra annexation, amending ordinance number 02-013 to rezone an approximately 27.04 acre parcel of real property from Palm Beach County's plans unit development to City of Boynton Beach's plans unit development, declaring the proposed amendment to be consistent with the comprehensive plan of the city, providing for severability, conflicts, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you, Maylee. Okay, I'm opening up to public comment, Shawna.
Yes.
We're opening up to public comment.
The presentation.
Oh,
sorry.
presentation. from
I
the city.
apologize.
Good
Okay, I
evening.
can barely see you. I had to put the patch on, so.
Amanda Radigan, Planning and Development Director. This presentation also covers 5 items. There is 1 annexation for the whole area, 2 land use amendments, and 2 rezonings. Palmyra is located on the northwest side of the city. It is roughly at the intersections of Lawrence and Hypoluxo. It is currently contiguous with the city. It is approximately 27.97 acres and consists roughly of about 125 properties. It has a taxable value of approximately $30 million. For the sake of the record, I will go over, again, some very similar annexation background. All of the properties within this annexation area are currently within the city's utility service area. All of the properties within this area are currently connected to water and sewer. As a condition of receiving municipal services, the developer, at the time of its construction, was required to enter a formal agreement with the city titled Summary of Agreement for Water and Wastewater Services Outside of the City Limits, Covenants for Annexation, and Irrevocable Special Power of Attorney. This agreement is transferable to any and all future property owners. The annexation requested is processed as voluntary as per the agreement, and there will be no changes of use as part of this annexation. Again, for the record, the notices that have been done include a notice to the owners on July 28th, a notice of ordinance on August 20th, legal ads both on the paper and online on August 31st and September 7th, and a public notice to properties within 400 feet. I should say that one of the unique characters of this community is that Palmyra, this is half of a community, Palmyra North. The southern half of this community is actually already within the city. The northern half was not, and I don't know why. But this will help unify some of the services within one existing community. So this slide is identical to the one that we did for Bamboo. So for the sake of brevity, I will just generally say that this is a tax comparison of millage rates within Boynton Beach and the county. It would impact the residents by adding the Boynton Beach operating millage rate. However, it would remove 3 debt obligations. It would remove the fire rescue millage, the library operating, and library debt. When it comes down to the non-ad valorem, your lake worth drainage stays the same. Your solid waste moves from within the county to in the city. It drops to about half. And then you would also get the Boynton Beach fire rescue assessment. In terms of services, again, this is identical to the previous. The fire department boasts one of the best within the state as fire response times of 4 minutes and 20 seconds. In terms of police, we are looking at 2.05 officers per 1,000 residents, and that is over 10 officers per square mile. Again, like I stated before, all of the properties within this annexation area are currently on water and sewer. And then when it comes to trash pickup and solid waste, the services stay initially the same. It's two times per week for trash, once a week for recycle, and once for bulk and vegetation. The difference is that instead of being serviced by the county, you would be serviced by the city. I will go through this through the map series. It's a little bit easier to understand that way. The existing land use within the city is currently MR5. You see that on the left side of your screen. The proposed existing land use, I'm sorry, this is a little bit different. So we're doing land uses across 2 different areas. So in blue, you actually see Palmyra, which is currently MR5 to your left. On the right, there is one parcel that is being zoned and treated differently, which is the subject of the text amendment that we did that had agricultural. So this one currently is also, the land use is MR5, but we're showing it different because it will be zoned differently. So the land use for both parcels would transition to low-density residential, both Palmyra and the one parcel that fronts Lawrence. And just for comparison, again, the MR5 is restricted to 5 units an acre. Low-density residential is 7.5 units an acre. Currently, Palmyra is zoned PUD, and the one parcel that's fronting Lawrence is zoned agricultural residential. The corresponding zoning districts within the city would essentially remain the same. In the city, we have the same PUD zoning district, so it would stay the same PUD zoning district for Palmyra. And the one parcel that's fronting Lawrence would transition to A1 AAB with the added text amendment of accessory agricultural residential uses permitted. I'm available for any questions.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions before we go to public comment? Okay, so if anyone would like to comment on 8G, we ask you to come down now, please.
Just remind them that it's on a Q&A, but they can talk to staff after.
Pardon me?
Can you just remind them that it's on a
Good evening, again.
And if you have any questions, you'll be able to talk to staff after. So if
Okay.
you have questions now, just let you know, we won't be able to answer.
My name again for the record is Suzanne Calwera, and I am a Palmyra resident, 21 years. And we moved into our home in April of 2024. So thank you for the presentation. Again, I'll comment on the what I had said before and stress that the annexation will not likely raise property taxes, but they will be raised. In comparing our presentation, the Boynton Beach millage would be 7.75. The Palm Beach County current is 4.017 for an increase of 3.733. The solid waste and fire rescue would go down $59, but the millage rate would still be higher. And in addition, I'm still not sure what benefits we are going to gain from this. And she had mentioned that the builder was required to be part of the agreement for the water and sewage. But then she said it was voluntary by the builder. So to me, that conflicts. But going back to the residents and those of us that live there, We already have adequate fire, police, and race services from the county. And the city taxes would force us to pay twice for services we don't need. And this, again, this annexation could affect fixed income residents and those on tight budgets. Even though there's more police within the city of Boynton, they are going to be services that are spread thinner when you're adding annexation of our neighborhood, Bamboo, and whomever else this may affect. So while there may be more, you have to look at the areas that they're also covering. And again, I go back to, why is this being done 21 years later, and how is this going to help us? How is raising our taxes and the services, I don't see any difference in services. And with that, I just think that it should be really considered for the residents that have lived there for 21 years. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next, please.
Hello, Dana Knights. I can see pros and cons for both positions for this. I just respectfully request from the city that if this is passed, that we get a very clear, transparent plan of transition, so there's no confusion with anything that regard to, trash services or anything, fees already paid to the county versus to the city. We just request that we're very transparent and have a clear-cut plan, and it's delivered to all the residents. For example, like, we never got the first notice, but we got the second notice. So I just want to make sure that everything is more clear and it's more transparent, and that we can get it on the website, and information like that is posted more clearly. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Okay. We will now be moving on to public comment for H. Does anyone have any public comment?
Amanda, do you want to do the
Yeah.
same thing you did
Yeah.
before? Thank you.
I do believe we need to vote on
Oh, we
this
need to
item
do a roll
first.
call,
Yes.
yeah.
We need a motion first.
Yep.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve ordinance 25-020, and we have a second. All those in favor, roll call.
Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
Commissioner Turkin?
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Hay?
Yes.
Mayor Shelton?
Yes.
And a roll call vote, the motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. And now we are going to open up, and I apologize, my vision's really slipping at the end of the night. We're going to open up to public comment for 8H. You could be
Yes,
specific.
and 8H is specifically for the land use amendment for Palmyra going from MR5 to low-density residential.
Do we have any public comment for 8H? If so, please come down. If nothing else, do we have a motion to
So
approve
move.
number 25-028? We have Commissioner Turkin move to approve ordinance number 25-028. Vice Mayor made the second motion. Now for roll call.
Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
Commissioner Turkin?
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Hay?
Yes.
Mayor Shelton?
Yes.
And a roll call vote, the motion passes unanimously.
Okay, moving on to public comment is permitted for 8I at this point,
And item I is specifically for the rezoning for Palmyra from PUD to PUD.
yeah. Any public
Quick
comment?
question.
Yes.
You said the AI,
It's wrong on our copy.
okay.
It's the
They read it in
27.04
separately. Yeah.
instead. I think you may have stepped out.
Got
but they had
it,
to
got
make
it.
a-
Thank you. Because I was looking at,
It was
Okay,
east. Yeah, it
perfect.
threw me off too.
yeah, motion to approve.
Okay.
Second.
We have a motion from Commissioner Turkin and a second from Vice Mayor Hay for ordinance number 25-029. Mealy?
Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
Commissioner Turkin? Commissioner Cruz?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Hay?
Yes.
Mayor Shelton?
Yes.
And a roll call vote, the motion passes unanimously.
We now have public comment that'll be open for 8J.
Item 8J is for the land use of the parcel on Lawrence to go from MR5 to low-density residential.
If nothing else, we have a motion to approve ordinance number 25-030.
You have to hold public
Oh,
comments.
public comment. Are there any public comment for 8J? And if not, do we have a motion and a second?
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Can you do roll call, Mealy?
Commissioner Kelly.
Yes.
Commissioner Turkin.
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Hay.
Yes.
Mayor Shelton.
Yes.
And roll call vote, the motion passed unanimously.
Okay. And lastly, we are moving on to item 8K.
8K is for the rezoning of the parcel on Lawrence to go from AR, agricultural residential, to single-family residential R1 AAB.
And do we have any public comment for 8K? If so, please come down. No public comment. If nothing.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion from Commissioner Turkin, and we have a second from Vice Mayor Hay for ordinance number 25-031. Mailey?
Commissioner Kelly.
Hang on, sorry, I'm sorry to do this. I just clicked over to the online and there is a public comment. He wanted to comment on 8G. And it says he wasn't sworn in, but,
That's okay, we can swear him in.
okay. It's Joseph Calwera. If you could unmic yourself and then, so the clerk can swear you in and you can speak on public comment.
Okay, I believe I'm on mic now, is that correct?
Yes,
Can you hear me?
yes.
Okay, am I able to speak now?
Do you swear or affirm that the evidence that you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Now you may begin. State your name for the record and then
Thank
you
you
may
very-
begin.
Thank you very much. Hello, Mayor, and hello, council members. My name is Joe Calwera, and I live in Palmyra. And I'm here tonight to strongly oppose the proposed annexation of our neighborhood into the city of Boynton Beach. Our neighborhood is already well served by county services. We pay county taxes and receive adequate fire, police, and sanitation coverage. Annexation would increase our tax burden without providing any clear or guaranteed improvements to our roads, utilities, or neighborhood safety. We're also concerned that the annexation will change our zoning and stricter code enforcement. Most importantly, we believe decisions about annexation should not be made without the full support and consent of the residents most directly affected. We respectfully ask that you reject this annexation proposal, or at a minimum, please allow the people of our neighborhood to vote on whether we want to become part of Boynton Beach. Thank you for your consideration and your time this evening.
Thank you,
Very
sir.
much. Anyone else?
No, no, Mayor.
And we have a motion and a second.
For 8K? Yes, motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion for Mailey.
Commissioner Kelly.
Yes.
Commissioner Turkin.
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Hay.
Yes.
Mayor Shelton.
Yes.
And roll call vote, the motion passed unanimously.
Okay.
Real quick, Mayor, I just, for the members of the public that are here, that live in Palmyra, I wanted to clarify for the record that I misspoke when I did my disclosures. This is a neighborhood I walk by every day because you're in my district. And it's been confusing to me why it was never done when the neighborhood was first built, why there's half of the neighborhood on city and half in the county. And so, you know, the staff is here, and if you haven't gotten their card, get their card. We have a lot more information that we can provide you to answer your questions and give you some guidance and just some assurances on you know, on how the process will work and what it means. And so I'm also available. Feel free to reach out to me as well. I'm happy to speak to anyone, as well as the mayor, and just about anyone up here is very open and available. So I would just encourage you, if you do have questions and concerns, to reach out to staff. We did the side-by-sides. We have a lot of comparisons and a lot more data that wasn't in the presentation. So I just wanted to put that for the record. So thank you.
We do not have a city manager's report tonight because our city manager is out. So we will be
Motion
concluding
to adjourn.
this.
Second.
We have a motion to adjourn and we have a second. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All of those opposed say name, and the motion passes
Good
unanimously.
night, everyone. Thank you.
9 o'clock.
Oh, my God.